too. Pleasure to meet you too.
Is this on, guys? I think we're live.
We
Welcome,
are
guys.
live.
We are. Welcome to the Heard 'em Say podcast, episode 4. I know it's looking a little different today. First, your boy got new headphones, got a new camera. All right, he got a new microphone. Testing, is this on? Yes, it is. So, Heard 'em Say, we're doing a couple of things here. We're getting a little bit more better quality. Also, what's different is the panel. The panel looking a little different today. Um, Again, a few housekeeping things, guys. Just bear with me for a few seconds because I know a lot of our viewers are like, "What's going on? There's so many things going on here." So let me explain. So one, we got a few absences. Our friend Tori, she took PTO. She's having Landra, what are you doing? Landra's about to be booted and tooted out of the stream already. Here we go. So, first thing, Tori, one of our mainstays here on the show, she took PTO. She had some things she had to do. Hopefully, she'll be back next week to get on my nerves. And I love her. That's my friend. Also, Naomi, the homie, the OG, she's also missing in action this week. Had a couple things going on with her, but she's going to be back next week. It's a very important episode next week, so we'll definitely be ready to check that out. I'll give more details at the end of the show, the stream regarding next week's live stream. So that be tuned. We got some really powerful stuff coming next week. But look at the panel, guys. We have some new additions here. The first edition, the gentleman to my immediate right, your left. Who knows if that's the right one? Well, first, let me introduce myself in case you don't know who I am. I'm Rich, aka Darius. You can call me Rich. Most of my friends do, and you're more than welcome to. The guy. I have so many emails and texts and DMs about D. When are you going to get another guy on the show? When are you going to get another male on the show? We're tired of hearing your only male voice. We're going to get some more guys on the show. Well, guess what? Rich heard you. So we got another fellow on the show introducing to you. Some may already know who he is. He's an amazing YouTuber. I told him before the stream that I'm going to give him this tagline that he is the voice of male consciousness, African American male consciousness as a whole. Anybody that knows this guy can learn something from him and become a better man, and his content is wonderful. Introducing to you my guy, Black Belt in a black suit, aka Black Belt. Tell him, Black Belt, how you feel about coming on the Heard Him Say podcast.
It's an honor. It's an honor. You're too kind, man. Thank you so much. That's
My
what it's
guy.
all about. Trying to make stronger men.
That's a good point, man. And a part of Heard Him Say's ethos, I guess you can say, is that we're trying to make better people, and having conversations expands people's minds and the minds of men, women, and those alike. So shout out to Black Belt. We appreciate you for coming onto the podcast. And we have another little pretty face, another cinnamon bun. Um, I had to give the guys what they're looking for. The guys were saying we love that dark chocolate. Okay, so Tori couldn't be here today. So guys, I got you. Got a dark chocolate in well supply. Shout out to my good friend of what 8 9 years. We got Landra by way of Ohio, by way of North Carolina, by way of North Carolina, by way of Ohio. Landra, tell the people what do you think? How you feel about coming onto the Heard 'em Say podcast?
Yeah, I am so honored to be here. Thank you so much, Darius, for the opportunity. I'm excited to get some discussion going, and I just look forward to all these different perspectives and giving my own perspective and just seeing what type of discussion we can get going today. So, yeah, I'm very excited.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Landra, I don't know what this lag is. It's like you have the internet of the 1940s. I don't know what that is, but we gotta work on that lag there. But beautiful words have never been spoken, guys. I cannot tell you how many emails and texts I get about how beautiful the women are on the panel. So I have to make sure that I give the guys what they want. They're watching on YouTube. Beautiful women brings the guys in, and then they'll be able to listen to what you're saying and become better men, like me and Black Belt said. So it's all for a cause, and Landra has a wonderful perspective. Not sure we're going to agree because we usually argue 90% of the time, but we're gonna see what happens tonight, right? I know, right? So we also have Monique. She's coming in a little bit later on. So we're gonna have another female on the panel. Mainstay Monique. She's coming. She had to embalm a body. Who knows? But she's coming when she's taking care of her business. And then, guys, last week we had an explosive show with your girl Erica. Erica, aka No Badu, was on the show last week, and she nearly crashed the internet. The internet crashed for like a day because of all the things that she was saying in her perspective, particularly about friends, exes being friends. And she wants smoke today. She said, "Look, I don't like how last week went. I don't know how this week gonna go, but I want smoke." And not only does she want smoke, her man wants to address what was spoke about last week. So we definitely want to go ahead and get Erica and her man. His name is Mr. Controversy. He wants to smoke today, and he's coming on to the podcast. So that's going to be a little bit later. We'll see how that go. But I'm all for smoke. I like a little smoke, you know what I mean? So, but okay, so we're going to wait for everybody to kind of fill in and come in a little by little. But we have some topics today. Okay. One topic in particular really got under people's skin, and it's gender roles. And, I'm really waiting on Erica to come in because she has a very interesting perspective, as usual, about gender roles. And my man Black Belt, when I told him about the show, he was like, sign me up. I got something I got to say. I got notes. I got it all written out. And Landra, me and her over the course of a decade have gone back and forth about the roles of different men and women and in a relationship context, and we often disagree about certain things. So we're going to get to it. So let me get to my little monologue, and then I'll let the panel have it. My monologue is, if you see the thumbnail here on Facebook and YouTube, it's about one particular woman and one particular man. It's three people, but I'm going to focus on two. I'm going to focus on the guy, Will Smith, and I'm going to focus on the woman, Gabrielle Union. Now, what does Gabrielle Union represent? Where my camera at? What does Gabrielle Union represent? She represents this idea of a modern woman. She's independent. She's successful. She's in Hollywood. She does all these great things. She's this renowned actress. She has her own kind of thing going on. And she's married to a famous basketball player, Dwayne Wade. And most people, we don't really know their relationship dynamics inside. But on the outside looking in, it looks like Gabrielle's wearing the pants. It looks like there's some non-traditional gendering going on there, and Dwayne Wade doesn't make it any better, but red hair and some of the things that's going on with him. So, and in particular their son, what's his name? Zaire, I believe, I'm sorry, my bad, gender roles. But that was a big controversy with that as well. A lot of people accepted that, but a lot of people felt that it was just indicative of this gender role and how maybe Gabrielle maybe pushed some things out to the forefront. Who knows? But we're not really trying to disparage the son too much. We want to focus on the gender role and how people kind of view Gabrielle Union as a non-traditional woman in 2021. And most women today, Black women, since we're about the culture, most African-American women will kind of lean towards a Gabrielle Union, a Jada Pinkett, which is why Will Smith is on our thumbnail today. He's on our promotions. Why is Will Smith there? Well, he's kind of this non-traditional man. He's a guy with a non-traditional woman. He's a guy that agreed to an open marriage. What guy would agree to an open marriage? Oh, and here comes, speak of the devil.
Hey, everybody.
Talk to us, Erica. You came in right on time.
I?
Yes. Just introduce yourself quickly to the fans here. to
What?
the people watching.
Okay, say less. What's going on, everybody? I am Erica Nobadu. But you could just call me plain old E. This would be my second show with Darius. I'm pretty sure if y'all were true fans, y'all saw me on the first episode last week. Well, my first episode last week, where I got a little shaky. So I'm here again to shake it up a little bit more.
Yeah, and indeed, and again, trash. Shout out to Trash Can Ways. He's definitely a brother of the
Okay,
podcast,
he
and
definitely is. He
and
loyal.
he loves the chocolate women. He hit me up. He was like, "Give me some more of that chocolate." So Trash Can, I got you. Landry's here today to kind of fill in that void. So we got a chocolate quota met for this week. So we're good. But Erica, you stepped in right on time when I was talking about gender roles, and I gave two examples. I gave Will. Well, first I gave Gabrielle Union, the typical non-traditional wife. She's a woman that's going out bearing her breasts in front of the world. She's not afraid to show her 50-year-old body or however old she is. Who cares? But the point is, she is the epitome of a non-traditional woman. She doesn't want to be in those natural traditional roles, and she's often spoke on interviews and in different shows about how she's championing being this modern woman. And then you have Will Smith on the flip side. He's a guy who anything but a traditional man. Okay, he's actually in an open marriage. What man do you know, a traditional guy, would agree to an open marriage? But he did. And not only that, the way that he raises kids is totally off kilter. I mean, he has his own way of doing that. They're pretty much free and open to express themselves. Jada's going wild. We discussed Jada in previous episodes, but she's going crazy right now. Who knows what Jada's doing, right? But the point is, gender roles, and my whole preface is that I feel that gender roles in today's society don't exist. I think that they're flipped upside down, and really there's so many gray areas in gender roles that it actually hurts relationships. I think gender roles actually helps relationships, gives order and structure to a relationship and to a family dynamic. And I think that's missing today. And those examples I gave is the reason why. Ideally, who knows if those are the situations people will want to be in. And gender roles have a lot to do with that. And I also feel that because of the lack of gender roles and this lucid way of tackling gender roles, I also feel that men get an unfair deal just in the dating realm in general. And it's always been an unfair deal, but we were more willing to deal with it because we got so much out of the deal on the back end that it was worth the risk. But now into 2021, when women want to have just as equal say and roles as men, there's no way it's a fair deal. So I give to the panel this question: how do you feel about gender roles in 2021? And do men get an unfair deal? Who want to start? Who want to kick me off?
I'll start.
Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, Darius, I agree with quite a bit of what you said, simply because I feel like in my dynamic of the relationship that I'm in now, I wanted to be rebellious in the beginning against gender roles because society told me that I should be able to take out the trash too. But to be honest, when it comes right down to it, I just got these nails done and I don't want to touch the trash. So, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg of things that I don't want to do as a woman. But I just feel like gender roles come into play when women a lot say that we want a man to lead, provide, take charge, this, that, and the third. But we also, in the same breath, want to prove to a man that we're independent and we could do it on our own and we don't really need a man to do it. But if you really think about it, gender roles are just that. A man's job is to protect, provide, and lead, and a woman's job is to submit and back him up in his leadership role. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
side by side, but at the end of the day, the man is taking the lead. And I feel like gender roles fall into play. Like taking my own situation and putting it out there once again. My man works 3 jobs. So while he out working them 3 jobs, what do you think I'm doing? I'm at home, I'm cooking and I'm cleaning and I'm making sure he got something to eat when he come home because I know he's tired. Yes, I work too, and no, sometimes we do share chores, but 9 times out of 10, he don't have time to share chores with me because he out making the bread.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I'm reaping the benefits of majority of the hard work that he's putting in outside at work. So why can't I do my part and cook and clean and make sure he got clean clothes and make sure he got a hot meal or at least it's sitting in the microwave waiting for him to walk through the door?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Anybody else want to go? Kind of add on to that? What's up?
Adding on to what Erica said, I agree to an extent with what you both have said. And when I say to the extent, I mean their gender roles are in place for there to be structure in the relationship. I think that is imperative. However, I think that couples should be able to identify what gender roles looks like for them in their relationships. And that's because what works in my relationship may not work in your relationship and vice versa. So for some couples, you do have situations where the man is doing X, Y, and Z, and the woman is at home cooking, cleaning, and and then in some relationships, they switch places. So I think that couples should first and foremost be able to completely identify what gender roles look like for them. Like Erica said, if I was in her situation, I would be doing the same thing. But I don't think it's unfair. I like how she pointed out the fact that sometimes they do share that responsibility. Because, I do believe, very old school, the woman is there to take care of the home, keep a clean house, take care of herself. For those of us that are Christians, that's really what the Bible says, right? But I just think that sometimes we get so stuck in those gender roles, we don't allow ourselves to be flexible or to decide what's going to work for us. So, I agree with what you guys have said, but I'm definitely one of those, I'm independent, I can do it. So that's something that I've had to learn as well. Learn how to relinquish some of that control, and not cry wolf when I'm needing help. And I just spent an hour complaining about how I don't need anybody. So I definitely feel you on that one, Erica, because that is something that us women have to learn how to do a little bit better, right? Allowing that person to be there and take care of us. But getting into the discussion we'll have later about men getting the unfair deal, I also feel that it is men's responsibility to make us feel safe enough to where we can trust you to handle your business and lead. So I'm gonna just throw that out there. Let the seed be planted. We'll water that one later. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna do that.
I'm right there.
But give me some. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a problem submitting, but I need to know that you're not leading me to hell. Bottom line.
Literally at the door and slipped on the banana peel and fell out.
Oh, absolutely not.
That close.
Because y'all want that, but you got to create the environment for that to be a.
I'm going to push hard on that, but I'll do that later.
Question actually, Darius?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, if I may ask, so for the gentleman that whoever we may be thinking of, who fits that criteria of what you're saying, and he has all those things going on, does it not turn then, and actually it's not his job to make you feel safe, it's your job to be qualified for that position?
But what if I am qualified?
But well, he determines that. But I'm saying, is it not your job to determine, to work it to show him, all right, I'm your best option for this position? Because if he has everything going on, I think, I'm not talking about you women specifically, but in general, I think some women tend to think the guy who's got it going on, he has to do all the things that the average guy does to get women. No, women flock to him. So that's why I'm asking, does it not turn into you have to show him, hey, I'm your best option?
I think it goes both ways, because just like a man is bringing things to the table and creating this, environment, and he's bringing in all this money and he has all of these qualities, there's women out there doing the same thing. So, yes, to answer your question, the woman can show herself approved and qualified for him, but I think it goes both ways. The man should be doing the same thing for the woman. I think we both need to be, man and woman, showing ourselves that we fit the other person's qualifications.
When you said that women are doing the same thing, were you talking about in terms of the providing and all that, or were you talking about something different when you said women are doing the same thing?
Absolutely, the providing. There are, women out there that are doing the same thing.
Why? Well, I don't want to get too off topic, but I'm not understanding why that would actually be a selling point. If the guy has his money taken care of, I'm not sure why her like balling out of control is actually a selling point.
Because she's bringing things to the table just like he is. Are we just focusing on the fact that he's the only one bringing things to the table as if he's the total package and she's not bringing things to the table or just as qualified as he is?
But this is thing. This is let me cook for a second because I like this conversation. This is kind of what we touched on last week, but here's the thing. What are you bringing to the table? This goes into my whole point about men get the unfair deal. When a woman and a man gets together and they want to decide to create a contract for a relationship, quote unquote, what the man has to bring to the table is kind of laid out. He has to prove that he's a provider, which means that he has to have a certain income. He has to make you feel safe. What goes into that? Okay, I gotta take you out. I gotta pay for dates. I gotta get you with the good morning text, a good night text. I gotta, if you need random acts of kindness and affection to give you a feeling of safety and protection. All right, cool. You know what I mean? On top of him having his own personal life in order, because you're looking at his own personal life aside from you as a qualifier for how well that he can fit in relations to you. So there's so much to the table a man brings to the table, and that's laid out on Front Street. When a woman comes to the table, it's like the woman says, I'm bringing something to the table. What is it? Like women do not discuss or disclose what they're bringing to the table in reference to a relationship. The man has to basically break his back and his neck to prove that he's the man for you, and he's really dating you on the potential of you bringing something to the table. And most of the time, most of the things that women conceptualize as bringing to the table is something a man doesn't need anyway. So it's like, what does a woman bring to the table in this agreement, and in the context of gender roles or outside of gender roles, however you want to take it? What do women bring to the table?
And if I could just say this real fast, that was kind of what I was getting at in terms of, that's why I asked you, what are you saying that she's bringing similar? Yeah. Because if there's a guy he's knocking down $250,000 a year, he doesn't need her to be Mrs. Moneybags. Right. And I think this kind of goes to the gender roles part, where I actually think generally gender roles get real messy because that's when people like to pick and choose what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Or they'll just pick something that they just don't want to do. And they try to say, oh, well, you want to be traditional because of fill in the blank negative connotation with it. And that's what I was saying, just in terms of, I think in some situations, most situations, the gender roles are trying to find a mix. It's a mix and a match. Two matches aren't going to generally work out more times than not, at least.
Okay, so I would have to say, generally speaking, society has kind of conditioned women to a sense of entitlement in that area, simply because a lot of women out here think I am the table. And I'm not saying that's okay.
Where's my camera?
Go ahead. I see you. But no, I'm just saying a lot of women think they are the table, so they don't need to bring anything else because they're it. But it's just like, nah, bro. For a man, I'm bringing 24, I'm bringing six figures already. What I need is a woman who knows how to manage those funds. I don't need you to have six figures too, but I need you to at least know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody who knows how to bring in more wealth. I need somebody who knows how to allocate those funds while also taking care of my household. I could take care of you, but you got to know that
He has an
women,
accountant. Then what?
right? Well, okay, well, maybe she ain't got to handle the money, but at some point, she's got to know finances because how many accountants out here steal from their clients?
What
Rihanna,
is this
prime
woman
example.
doing?
But that's
It,
neither here nor there. Listen, what I'm saying is women have this sense of entitlement to where they feel like they don't need to bring anything else to the table. And what I'm saying is to answer your question, do I feel like men get the short end of the bargain? Yes, if he's dealing with a small-minded woman who thinks she is the table.
I disagree with that. I think men get the short end of the stick when they deal with even professional women who
I
maybe
can
make
agree
similar, income. The
because
reciprocity there doesn't match.
okay, so for me, I just feel like it's not a question of what do you bring to the table, but more of can we build this table together?
The table's
What
built.
resources do you have? No, not when you're building something together. When
If
you're in
he's
a
making
relationship,
200,
Sustain it.
you build a foundation together.
Mm-hmm.
So you're building a
Mm-hmm.
table together.
but
But it's up to you and him whether that table is going to be sturdy or not.
listen,
You
listen.
know?
Hear what I'm saying. He's making a quarter million.
What does that have to do with anything if
The
he don't know how
table's
to use
built.
it?
The
The
he
table. So just because he got $600,000 in the bank, he know what to do with it.
Yes, he made it $600,000. People just
So
don't make.
how?
Listen,
Okay,
listen,
so
listen,
at this
listen.
point, he doesn't
Hold
need a
on,
woman. Then he
hold
needs an
on.
accountant.
Listen, no, listen. That's my point, though.
Okay,
Like, let's say you're dealing with a high quality man, right? And
right.
he's making a quarter, $500,000. This man has to be intelligent enough to know how to make this money. He has to be resourceful enough to know how to manage his money. People who make that kind of money aren't stupid, aren't people who they're not looking for a significant other to help them manage their business endeavors.
I disagree.
No, that's not why. No, what?
I disagree.
A man is not going to look for a woman.
Okay, so let's just clear this out. Put this on the table. Then, what is a high quality man looking for?
A high quality man is looking for a woman who is feminine, a
Hmm.
woman who is cooperative, a woman who doesn't
Naturally submissive.
submissive, doesn't get in
Hmm.
the way. She's beautiful, she's inspiring, but
So,
she's
what
not
does this woman
overbearing.
do? What does this woman do for him?
She's a mother of his children. She's a person that creates a atmosphere to when he's done with his work, he's done with his business, he done slay the dragon all day. He comes home to a totally different, nurturing environment that helps him prepare for the next day to where he got to slay the dragon. This is
Okay.
what a good wife does. And a lot of times, he may have counsel. He needs counsel, like in his personal life, about certain decision that he's mulling on. He may speak to his wife, hey baby, this is what I'm considering. But it doesn't mean that it's a requirement for her to have an expertise in what he's doing as a business, but it's a requirement for her to be able to create an environment to where he can recharge. And that comes with being submissive and being feminine. This is what men want, period. But women are this is not what they bring to the table. First thing they
So,
say is bringing a bag. I already got a
so what
bag.
does
So
the
what?
typical woman bring to the table if it's not that?
Their education, that's not helpful. Their bag, which is not helpful. Their mindset of that they're going to add to the man in a financial or in a business way, which doesn't help the man if he's already on that path. He's probably looking for something, a woman to compliment him on that journey. If
Right.
he's not on that path and he's not really concerned with it for whatever reason, he doesn't want a woman to push him to do something that he doesn't want to do right now. So it doesn't help. It doesn't help. Women don't really know what men want, and that's the problem with gender roles. In the past, gender roles worked because the women knew what the men needed and what the men want, and they made it a priority. They came to the table already knowing, hey, a man needs this, that, and the third, and they would bring that to the table because they knew men.
That's bullshit, because if that was the case, why is he still cheating? Why does he still have an outside girlfriend with outside children down the block, not to mention? The only reason that marriages were so successful back then is because some of them women couldn't leave because they didn't have anything to bring to the table when they got in the marriage in the first place.
Erica, whoa. Or you just went far left?
No, because you just got real barbaric.
No.
I just don't agree with the fact that you said relationships back then, women knew what their men wanted. No, were they more nurturing? Yes. But that's because they didn't have anything else to do. The roles were already set in place. But things are different now. Women are allowed to work because we don't have a choice, because most of our men are kind of lazy these days. Not saying all, but a lot of men are lazy. And so they look to their woman to take care of them on top of all that other shit you just named. But I feel like a lot of the marriages back then, they seemed perfect on the outside, but on the inside, it was a lot of abuse, physically and verbally and emotionally. And not only that, a lot of women were stuck.
Wait a minute, Erica. Hold it. The divorce rates are higher today than they were then.
I need sources.
Are you kidding me?
She's saying.
Listen, no, let me rock for a second and then I'll let you go. Let me rock for a second because you don't even know the context of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People are getting divorced more now than back then.
Okay.
So women are liberated, so to speak, and can do all this stuff and bring all this stuff that you're saying to the table now, but they're still not. Marriage rates are down. People are not even getting married the way they used to be, and when they are getting married, they're getting divorced at the highest rate that they ever did in human history. So liberated women are not making their husband are not making marriages successful either. So what they're bringing to the table, you don't have any proof to say that works. If you're going to criticize and say, hey, back in the day, grandma, great grandma, they had to be with their husband because they didn't work and he was the main breadwinner and he was out here cheating or whatever. You're going to criticize that. Okay, fair. But you can't say that this new mentality that modern women are bringing are working, because people are still getting divorced at a 60 to 70% clip.
That's because we have the freedom to leave now. We have the freedom to work. The women back then, of course, the divorce rates are higher now because we have freedom to move freely as women. We didn't have those privileges back then.
Divorce is freedom? Bringing up your family is freedom?
Divorce was illegal at one point in time. Do you not know that?
In this country, in the United States, divorce was not illegal. In the 1960s, you can get divorced. Now, would it have been an easy process? Maybe not. But you can get divorced in 1960. Now, fast forward to 2021, you can get divorced in 2021. It's just that the people didn't want to break up their homes in the 1960s, as opposed to today. We don't have a value in family, so women are out here divorcing their men. They don't care if they break up their home. They think they can get better. What are we talking about?
I think what Erica is saying is, I think what Erica is saying is, divorce rates were lower back then, like she said, because women couldn't leave. It's not a fact of, they didn't want to break up their homes. What do you say? What did you just say? That divorce is freedom? To some of them, it probably would have been freedom. Exactly. Specifically speaking, for women that were being abused. And I'm not just saying women, because I know abuse is universal, women and men. But we all know statistics. Women are abused more at a greater rate than men are. But they're not the only ones abused. So I will acknowledge that. But if you go back to history, like she said, to them, it probably would have been freedom. Yes, it would have been difficult to allow them to, separate their families, but it would have been freedom, because most women, especially if children are involved, Or even if there are no children involved, they wanted to have that peace of mind. It doesn't mean that it would have been an easy decision, but they could have wanted that peace. But the option was not afforded to them. The option was not afforded to them because they couldn't work. They couldn't get an education. They were not able to do any of those things. So the option was not there. Now, can we 100% say that all divorces now are at the fault of men? No. Can we 100% say the divorces now are at the fault of women? No. But women are able to make that decision for themselves now because women are putting themselves in a better position, married or not married. I think that's what she's saying, and I agree.
Is so crazy to me because look, you okay, you spoke about abuse in a marriage and that being the confines of divorce.
Not necessarily. I just spoke as a speaking point.
I was referring to Landra, what she just said about the abuse.
Okay.
So
go off.
It is, but it's a small example. And to be honest, the reason why women are filing for divorce way more than men. Okay. And the reason is because divorce is beneficial financially for women, especially if your man is the main breadwinner. You know, have you heard of alimony? Have you heard of spousal support and child support? So women are you acting like women are putting on this cape and getting divorced as a sign of freedom from men that they married. No, it's some women out here are getting divorced because it's advantageous to do so. And not only is it advantageous to get divorced today, they feel that they could do better than the man they got. They feel like they in some weird way they become conditioned to think they settle and they divorce the men that they are with, and they end up not really and breaking up their own homes. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, granted, there are many different reasons for a divorce. I understand that. But we have to judge which decision is worth breaking up your home, worth your kids seeing their father every other week or every other couple weeks, or worth seeing their mother cry because, she's overwhelmed with having to deal with the kids by herself now without having a man in the house, or kids listening into the cousins and the aunts and the uncles talking crap about the person in the marriage, and they have to try to figure out, who's right, who's wrong through this nasty divorce. Divorce is difficult, and you guys literally just forego all of that to kind of paint divorce as this type of liberation from bad men.
It is. What do you mean? Because if I married someone who is terrible and I need freedom from his terrible ways, I am going to divorce him because my sanity comes first. What do you mean?
Erica,
the kids will get over it, but honey, do they want to see their mother hanging from a tree or killed maybe? Because I'm dealing with an abusive husband?
Wait a second. Again, what I said was that we have to assess each reason why divorce is on the table.
And that is true, but you're making it seem like women don't feel a source of freedom when they are liberated from awful men.
You're talking about a small portion of women that may be in a situation where their life is threatened.
Okay, but let's look at it. But divorce could be liberating for the ones who are less threatened too. If a marriage is dead and there's nothing left and neither one of us are feeling each other.
There's nothing liberating about breaking up your home.
I disagree.
In that. That's selfish.
Disagree. No, it's not selfish.
You made the decision to marry someone.
Sometimes you have to put yourself first, and divorce sometimes if it's not suiting your emotional state.
Where's my camera? Erica, you just said it's not selfish, and then the next sentence you just said was sometimes you have to put yourself first.
Exactly. That's not being selfish. Putting yourself first and being selfish are two totally different things.
Am I in the Twilight Zone, guys?
You might be, but pull the earwax out and make sure that you're hearing me correctly, because selfishness and self-love are two completely different things. It's called healthy boundaries and fuck all y'all, I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's the difference.
Erica, you did not disappoint me. I knew I
I'm
was gonna get some
protecting.
bullshit.
I am self-care is putting myself first sometimes is I protect my own peace first sometimes. I need to protect my own emotional state. I need to protect my own physical state. I need to protect my own mental state. Selfishness is I don't care about how anybody else feels. I'm still going to do what I want to do, and I'm probably going to take something from you while doing it. That's what selfishness is. Self-care is protecting who I am.
My brain exploded.
For my sanity.
My brain exploded.
Healthy boundaries versus not giving a fuck. That's the difference.
What you just described, there's no way to distinguish one from the other.
Yes, there is if you're smart.
Not.
Yes, there is.
If I put myself first, I put everybody that's connected to me behind me because I put myself first.
Divorce, if it's not fitting my emotional state anymore, and I feel like I'm going nuts or I'm not happy or I'm losing my sanity for this relationship or, for this marriage, I am going to leave.
You picked them.
And who's to say that he was like that in the beginning? People change over time and not always for the better.
Who's to say he's the reason why you are are insane or stressed out in a marriage? Maybe you make yourself deranged and crazy.
That's not for me to determine. My actions do not determine the way should not determine the way a person reacts to me.
What?
Yes.
For your sake, we're gonna move on because I don't. At this point, my brain exploded and I don't even understand.
No, it's like you're refusing to understand. But there is a difference between selfishness and self-care.
No, divorce and self-care.
Divorce is not selfish, so stop trying to make it seem like it is because it's not. Kids or no kids, divorce is not selfish all the time. There are situations where people can be selfish in divorce, but it could also be liberating too for male or female.
Listen. I'm gonna be clear on this. Okay,
be clear.
I'm speaking about a situation where someone divorces the other person because they're not happy or whatever the terms is. The marriage doesn't work for them anymore, and they have children, they have assets, they have everything that they built together, and they're going to tear that down for the sake of their own
sanity.
I'm not going to say sanity because
I'm saying sanity
because I mean Jesus Christ, like if I
you don't think that's important? The state of your well-being is less important.
Who you married.
Some people find out
better people.
Some people have up blinders, but not only that, some people are really good
at that
until they're married.
No, I disagree with that. You have to vet who you're marrying. That's an important decision so that you don't want to get divorced. And
some people are very good at hiding themselves.
No one's that good of hiding themselves. No one's that good. Okay, there may be some good people, but they're not that good to where you spend 10 years in a marriage and then 10 years down the road you want to get a divorce.
I disagree, but in the same breath, some people also change. You're never the same person that you were 24 months ago. 24 hours ago, you're never the same person. People change. Is my main point. So yes, you could have been married for 10 years, but now it's 10 years later and he's not the same man I married. He's more disgruntled. He's angry. Maybe he's hit a rough patch in life and he just lost his job and he's feeling hopeless right now for the sake of time. And now he's angry at the world, including his wife, and he just turned into the shittiest person alive.
Okay, Erica, this is not Erica. Hold on. It's not the Erica show. It's my show. So I have a question on the screen, and I want everybody to kind of tackle this or whatever. And this is my girl Sabrina. She's like a mother from another, right? So her question is: so if my ex-husband was mentally and physically abusing me, I'm selfish for wanting to get a divorce. I don't think so.
Sabrina.
Been there and done that. But here's the thing.
You're not selfish.
But here's what
you was trying to combat me.
Hold on, time out. Wait, because you're about to put words in my mouth that I didn't say. I said let this simmer in your brain. I said that you have to take it by case. Every reason for divorce is not all equal. So if you're getting mentally and physically abused and you feel like a divorce is for your personal safety, then okay. I don't personally see an issue with that. But
so is that not liberating? Because you are trying to prove that divorce isn't liberating.
Hold on. You can't use a small sample and apply that to every divorce. Everybody's not getting divorced because they're being abused. That's what I'm saying. Most of the time is because they could do better. Let's be honest. And then that's the problem.
And is that not liberating also?
No.
Finally realizing that you can do better?
No, because how do you determine you can do better?
You said you made that as a point, not me.
That's okay. Who made it a point is not relevant. I'm saying that the context of somebody feeling they can do better. Why would you marry someone to only feel like you could do better and want to divorce them? That's stupid.
Over time, people are not the same, and they don't always change for the better. Can somebody else?
Yeah, Black Belt.
Let me say this.
Right.
As a social worker who works with children and has worked with domestic violence victims for years, let me first say this. Someone choosing to leave a relationship, I'm glad you cleared that up, because that is the first and foremost thing I was going to say. For their personal safety, I don't care if there's kids involved, not kids involved. I have literally seen people with strangulation, you know what I'm saying? Like, some stuff really becomes life-threatening, deadly, and bottom line, I don't care what the situation is, you got to get help. Kids or no kids, you have to get help. You have to put yourself first, and that is not selfish. But you cleared that up. I just had to put that, plug there.
I said that several times.
Yep, you said that once. You said that once, but
I said it 3 times.
Moving on to the next thing, the bottom line is, even if it is not because of something as aggressive as, hold on.
Tell Kojo to be quiet.
I know. Sorry about that. Even if it's not for something as severe, you may feel as if physical and mental and, sexual, monetary, you may feel that those forms of abuse are severe enough for someone to leave. And that is severe. But someone should be able to define when they've had enough. If cheating is their breaking point, then that's their breaking point. If they feel like they're being treated unfairly, emotional abuse, they feel like they're being neglected, that should be allowed to be their breaking point. And especially when there are kids involved, when the relationship has become toxic and you are arguing and doing all of these things in front of your children. Yes, all relationships have their ups and downs, but when it's getting to the point to where your kids are being exposed to this, if someone makes a decision to leave that environment for themselves so they can be a better parent to their children, man or woman, or so that they can put their better children in a better environment, that is not selfish. I heard your comment about fathers or mothers being unable to play an active role in their children's lives if they're not living in the same home. But whoever has created that toxic environment should have thought about that before creating that toxic environment. You can't create that toxic environment, and when the person makes a decision to leave, you cry victim because you can't see your kids.
But can I also just add that when you are in a toxic environment, that not only, it also falls, it's a trickle down, it's like a domino effect. It trickles down to the children also. And I've seen it firsthand. I know people who are married. I have family members who are married unhappily, might I add. And the children see how the parents bicker, and it makes the children basically respect whichever parent is the dominant one, and they disrespect the one who gets the most flack the most. So the children pay attention too. Just like that movie, what is it, Eve's Bayou, when she said 10 to the children? The children are watching everything that the parents do. So all of that toxicity and that toxic energy is rubbing off on your children. And that also is going to portray in their future relationships.
Okay, time out, time out. We got off track because the conversation is about gender roles.
Okay,
Now,
but you also
hold
talked
on,
about
hold
how
on, time out, time out. This is not the Erica show. This is the
you right.
Birthday
It's not,
podcast.
but
So let me rock
uh-huh.
because I want to get the conversation back on track, and then we have Monique that came in. So Monique, we were discussing gender roles and how do you feel about them in 2021? Do they exist? And any other commentary? We went down this. We got down the path of divorce. I think Erica drove that car in the ditch.
No, that
Uh,
was you.
Oh,
Thank you very
it
much.
might have been. It might have been. But it was an interesting discussion about divorce, and that kind of does play in the gender roles as well. And again, for the record, okay, I want this to be clear. I understand that all reasons of divorce are not created equal. I get that, guys. But I'm also saying that just like there are cases where men and women don't need to be in a marriage because it's toxic, someone's getting abused mentally or physically. I'm also saying that there's a portion of marriages that are dissolved. Divorce is happening because a partner is simply unhappy with the other partner, possibly because of gender roles. Who knows? So, but I'm we just went down the abuse path because to keep it a buck, is the easiest path to go down for women. You know, divorce. Let's be
Here we
honest.
go.
Anytime women want to defend women getting divorced, they want to go down this abuse path. Let's be honest. And I wasn't
Because
trying to
there
go
are
down that
multiple
path.
forms of abuse, but
But
you were trying.
that's
But
not the
basically,
reason why.
it was your question to that extent was divorce isn't liberating; it's selfish. So that's how we got down that rabbit hole.
I'm
But the
saying
initial
I was
question
speaking about a
was does
specific scenario in a divorce when someone breaks up their home because they felt like they're just not happy and they can do better. I'm talking about a specific scenario, and you went and brought on all these different reasons for divorce to try to prove
you
how
were not
liberating
that
that is.
specific.
We're gonna move on. And
Hmm.
Landra, I don't know what's going on with her, but we're gonna kick it to Mo. Mo,
Yo,
I know you coming in kind of late. Landra, she's in and out. We don't know what kind of internet she has, but whatever.
Hey y'all, what's up? Sorry I'm late. Duty calls
Mo,
at the funeral home. Stuff don't happen between the hours of 9 to 5, so hey, we trying to
that's
get it when we can
crazy.
get it.
Awesome. So let me kick it to you, and feel free, you guys, to rebuttal. So,
All right, so give me the
general,
question.
generals. How do you feel about generals? Do they apply in 2021? And the other question I have, you can answer it later, is do men get the short end of the stick? Is it an unfair deal?
Okay. Gender roles. Do I believe in them? Yes. Do I think
Do you see
that
they exist?
I
Mm-mm.
I think they should exist.
Do they? Do you see that they exist in 2020?
I think they are becoming extinct. I think roles are getting confused. And I say this, okay. I
Mhm.
grew up 2 parent household, mom, dad. Dad was the man, mom was the woman. Mom took care of the house. Yeah, mom worked and all of that stuff because she didn't like being a stay-at-home mom. But mom worked, but she still came home, took care of the house, took care of the kids. Dad went out, he worked, came home, paid the bills, all that good stuff. So that's what I grew up witnessing. That's what I grew up in. So for me, that's the type of of relationship, that's the type of marriage that I would like to have. Now, do I feel like everything that my parents did I want to do? No, not necessarily. And I say that because, like I said, my mom worked every day, and she came home and she cooked and she cleaned and she made sure that me and my brothers were taken care of. However, she had a job, she had the type of job that afforded her the opportunity to do that. So whereas me, my job is not 9 to 5. I do have a 9 to 5 job, but then guess what? At night, sometimes I'm at the funeral home, doing what I got to do over there. So, in that respect, I would need or want a husband that understands that, okay, yeah, um, My wife, she cooks, she cleans, but sometimes I have to do it because she may still be at work. So while, yes, I do feel like as a wife, I should cook and clean and make sure that my husband is coming home to a clean house and well-behaved children and all of that stuff. I also need a husband that understands that, you know, hey, my wife is doing all of this stuff, but she also has the type of career that doesn't necessarily always allow her to do that. And sometimes I have to step in and fulfill that role. Vice versa, you know, with my husband, like, do I, and I know I'm gonna get jumped on for saying it. Do I expect him to pay all the bills? If he wants to, but you know, am I opposed to helping him? Absolutely not.
How much of the bills do you want to pay?
Huh?
That's for all the ladies. How much of the bill? Let's say you're married. Let's say, boom, husband and wife. How much of the bills do you want to have to pay? I'm sounding like Kevin Samuel. Shout out to Kevin, the kids. Kevin Samuel.
Well, I think that would depend on. That would have to be a conversation between me and my husband.
I'm asking
how is that going to work?
I'm asking you specifically. It's a hypothetical. So, how much of this hypothetical bills do you want to pay?
I mean,
percentage.
Hypothetically, if he can handle the mortgage, I can handle everything else.
I need a percentage. 10%. I don't know. 20%.
I'm telling you, if he can handle the mortgage, I can handle everything else.
But
I mean, I don't know how to break that down into a percentage for you.
You paying 40% is him paying the majority of the bills. You paying 10% is him paying the majority of the bills. But there's a big gap between paying 40% and paying 10%. So I'm just trying to gauge. Okay, let's say he's at least over 50. How much? Let's say from 40% on down. How much of that 40% do you want to be responsible for? This is a very easy question.
I'll take 10%. 20%.
Okay, Landra, same question.
If we're putting percentages on it, I've always been okay with the 50-50. I do think it depends on the financial situation. Yeah. Like.
Did you get a question?
Yes.
The question is, how much do you want to pay? Not a theoretical, you know, I may have to, so I'm okay with it. I'm saying, how much do you want to pay?
Me saying I'm okay with 50-50 means I will pay 50%.
Do you want to pay 50%? Let me ask that question.
Yes, I don't mind. No, yeah, I don't mind.
So you want to pay? I don't want. You want to pay 50% of the bills?
I don't understand why that's a problem. Like, we're both working. What I was about to say before you had to jump in was, I think it depends on that couple's financial situation, which is what she was alluding to. Sometimes situation changes.
What does that matter?
It does matter. Because
what if you lose your job?
Changes.
What if I lose my job?
You're adding stuff to the hypothetical that wasn't asked. The question is, how much do you want to pay?
All answers aren't just black and white, but they answer.
Let me ask the question.
They answered. Darius, hold on.
Go for it.
You were asking me about my opinion when it comes to gender roles. All right.
Right.
And what I was saying was, typically, people view the role of a man as a financial provider. All right. That is the role that people assign to a man. The point that I was making was, I don't necessarily feel like that has to only be his role. If we're in a relationship together, I mean, if he's in a position to where he can take care of everything financially and he wants to do that, by all means, babe, go ahead, do you. But if something should ever go wrong and he lose his job, or maybe he gets a pay cut, or whatever in this world happens, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like because the expectation of that gender role is placed on him that he should have to struggle to continue to provide financially. If I'm in a position to help him, then why does it have, like, that's why I say, when it comes to gender roles, I do think there should be gender roles, but they shouldn't be so strict that you can't flex with it.
Here's what I'm getting at with this question, and this is the thing that men hate the most, is that women are not clear about what they're really willing. Women get caught in this place to where they say what sounds good, but in an ideal situation, they would choose something totally different. I asked an hypothetical, how much are you willing to want to pay? If you said 5%, cool. It's 5%. There's nothing
But
wrong
they
with
both gave their answer, and you basically tried to talk them out of their answer.
because I want to make sure they understood the question.
You think that's not the truth because you're trying to
Right.
speak for women, and you think that
Exactly.
that's
You
not
Right. I
can't
don't
our true
understand why
answer.
What
it's
I'm
so
saying,
I don't
okay, well let
understand
me,
why it's so
Ourselves,
well
hard
let
and
for
we
me,
us to
said what
accept
we said.
that we're
Exactly.
okay.
well let
And
me
then
ask
you
this
just like,
question.
well, no, you don't get the question. She said, I want to pay 50%.
Granted, let me ask this question. It's a follow-up question. Let's say the guy makes $1 million. He's a millionaire. How much of the bills do you want to pay? The percentage. What is that?
If I ain't no millionaire, I'm paying 0%. I
Landry,
can't live at his means.
you still paying 50% of the bills, Landry? If the guy's a millionaire, take care of all the bills?
I cannot pay 50% if I'm not a millionaire. How would I even
Right.
be able to
The
do
That's
that?
bills
an
If I'm
are
a
unreasonable
social worker
question.
making
the
fifty
It's
or
oh my
$60 million,
God.
unreasonable.
how
Like,
would
So
are
I
we
be
your
are we
able
both
to
making
answer
$1 million
is,
dollars?
if
why
I'm
are you
making four
qualifying the
hundred thousand
answer?
dollars
It's simple. Just
and
say
it's
you
not
don't
that
want to.
simple.
But if
You
we're
just, I
not on
mean,
the same
you don't
financial
even know,
level,
like,
how
that's
can I pay
basic
a
math.
millionaire's bills?
Right. That's deductive reasoning and basic math. How would I pay
Exactly.
50% if I
You
don't
guys
even
are
equal
so
his?
off the
No, you
No,
path.
are
you
off.
are because you
You
This
don't
is a
are
like the
simple
not.
question.
answer. You
This is
don't
a
like the
simple
answer.
question. No,
It's
I don't care
Example.
about the
Rephrase
answer,
the
but I don't.
question. Can you rephrase the question, please?
please
Listen.
and
The
make it make
question is
sense.
simple. It's about your desire of what you want to pay.
And we've given you what we
Time
desire to
out,
pay.
Erica. Please, Jesus Christ. Let me, because obviously you're not hearing me. I
No, you're not
said,
hearing you.
no, I am. I'm saying, how much do you want to pay? That means that you don't have to put any qualifiers on this. The guy can pay 100% of the bills because he can. You're okay with that. For example, if someone asks me in my marriage how much of the bills that I want to pay, I can say, hey, 10%. You know what that means? That means that I would need to find a woman that would make 90% and will be okay with me putting the 10 in. That's all that means. And that's what I'm getting at. It's like you want to rephrase the situation to fit this
Nobody
morality.
rephrased anything.
I'm gonna finish, then I'll kick it to you. It's like y'all want to rephrase this in some type of morality because you feel like it's immoral to say that you want to pay less than half of the bills. But I'm just asking the question. If you had the
What
ideal
you're doing is
situation,
coercing an answer.
I don't
That's what
care.
you're
I don't
doing.
care what your answer is, but I want to
But
make sure.
no, because they both of the ladies answered the question and you
I
did
wanted
not
to make
like their
sure.
answer.
No, I don't care what the answer is, but I want
So
to make sure
why you keep rephrasing the
because I
same
want to
question when
make
they've
sure.
already
Erica,
answered?
calm down. I
I'm
want to make sure they
calm.
understood the question. I wanted to make sure that they're answering the question without putting in any type of context that the man makes a certain amount, is what I'm saying, Erica. It's like you're answering the correct question based on the man making a certain amount, and you're answering the question 50-50 because you assume the man is making what you're making or close to what you're making. Or else you wouldn't say 50-50 because he could pay 100% of the bills. That's what
I
what
believe
I'm
I followed it
saying.
up by saying it depends on that
Black Belt,
couple's
do you understand what I'm
situation.
saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But
That
can
doesn't mean
you?
he agrees. He just
Exactly.
No, I
understands. We
think
all
it's
get what you're saying.
no. I think what Darius is saying to his point about the men getting, I guess, irritated when women aren't clear is that you don't have to add extra filters or qualifiers. If I just say, "Do you want $1 million?" I don't need you to consider whether is this $1 million. Is it being direct deposited? Is it in cash, or are you giving me in Bitcoin? It's just, do you want it? And I think, and if I'm understanding Darius, what he's basically trying to say is essentially not what you're cool with, not what you're, willing to accept. Just directly, I want X, Y, and Z. And whatever your answer is from there, we can take it there. I believe what Darius is saying, and what I think many guys are saying is, when men say I want something, that doesn't mean I'm cool with it at all. That just means I'll go with it. But when I say I want something, that's exactly what my desire is. And if you're saying I want to pay 50-50, I don't think Darius would have ever said anything. Or I want to pay whatever, I don't think Darius would have ever said anything. That's the way I'm understanding Darius.
But even when he rephrased the question, she still said, yes, I want to pay 50%. And he still wasn't okay with that.
Okay,
he rephrased the same question 30 times.
Okay, how about this?
To force a different answer.
Landra, how much do you want to pay in a household where you and the man make the same money?
50-50.
Okay. If you make however much you make now and the man makes $1 million a year, do you want to pay 50-50?
No.
Okay. This is what I just said. Black belt. This is not what I just
We answered both questions the exact same.
But this is my point. My point is that let's give an example, right? Let's say I ask a different woman a question and she says, I just want to pay 50% of the bills. Okay, I want to be responsible for 50%. If I get sick, if I have kids, if I have to take FMLA, or if I'm on sick leave, I don't want to be responsible for 50. I don't want the household to go to shit because I'm paying half the bills. I just want to pay 15. I want my man to be able to pay his 85% so the house will still be running, even if I can't work, even if I have to take care of the kids. I want to pay my 15. Then it's like a man would know that, okay, she needs a man that makes 85% of the bills in the household to satisfy her 15%. So we understand what we're getting into up front. But then, you have women say, I'll be okay with 50, meaning that it's not really their ideal situation. And a lot of times, and I know so many people personally, maybe you do or don't, but I know so many women who pay 50% of the bills and complain about paying 50% of the bills because this is not ideally what they want. They would rather have to have less a share of the responsibility of the bills that they pay. This is reality, and what men get frustrated about is that women are not clear. They wanna give answers based on what makes them look good instead of being honest and getting honest results. And you women proved it.
No, because I believe I followed it up by saying it depends on the situation. But when I followed it up by saying that, it became a thing of, oh, I just want a yes or no. And that example that you just gave just proved that it is not always a yes or no situation.
Exactly.
No, what you want to pay is what you want to pay. It's not what you're willing to pay, or it's no qualifier. It's what you want to pay. It's like if there's a pair of shoes. It's like if there's a Gucci bag, for example, you know how much it costs, but you could want to pay $1 for it. That's what you want to pay for it. Doesn't mean that you're going to pay $1 for that Gucci bag. It just means that's what you want to pay for it. I would rather pay $1 for a Gucci bag. The problem with me
saying it seemed the conversation seemed to have turned when I said I want to pay 50%. What is the problem with me saying that I want to pay 50% of the bills in the household? I have my reasons as to why I want to do that, but you didn't ask me that, so we won't go there. What's the problem with me saying that I want to pay 50%?
Because the question was, if you could choose any percentage, what percentage you want, and you base your answer based on if the man makes as much as you do. So you feel obligated to pay 50% of the bills. But the question didn't put a qualifier on it. The question didn't say the man make any amount of money. It just asked you what in your ideal
but do you understand
situation.
with that being such a vague question that it allows room for a person
for any answer?
I clarified
answer it whichever way they choose
I clarified it. And the answer changes based on what the man makes. So So that's my point.
It changes based off what we both
made.
made.
It was a vague question. It was a vague question.
It was vague.
It was
Bottom line.
It was a direct question. And
no,
you guys,
it was not
because you clarified it 30 times and you got the same answer each time.
It was a direct question that you guys put context to that didn't need the context. It didn't need the context.
to, because you were not clear in the question.
Exactly.
It was a direct question in terms of how much do you want to pay, but it was such a vague question, meaning it left room open for there to be dialogue. That was not is the grass green? That is a direct question. That is a close-ended question. Yes. We have to understand the difference between open-ended question, close-ended questions. We have to understand the difference between, that question was direct, but you still, first of all, this is a podcast, so any questions you ask, there's going to be dialogue. But furthermore, that question is framed in a way to where there is going to be room for interpretation.
It's a direct question. To answer
it. Okay, it's a direct question.
It's like I said, if there's a pair of shoes and I ask you, I hold these shoes up, or I hold this block up right here, and I say, how much do you want to pay for this? How much do you want to pay for it?
I want to pay $1 for it. And when she said, I want to pay $1 for it, you said, but why do you want to pay $1 for it? No, but wait, are you hearing the question? Wait, you didn't hear the question right. I said, how much do you want to pay for it? Are you sure you want to pay $1 for it now?
Because that's
what you did. You coerced her to try to feel like she didn't answer it right.
It would have been fine if her 50% was consistent no matter what the man made.
But that wasn't your question.
We can move on.
Your question was direct, right?
We can move on.
You didn't add layers to it.
We can move on. We can move on.
If it was direct, okay. Why didn't you ask that?
I did.
No, after the fact.
You guys applied the context of what the man made.
All right, let's move on.
It was just a direct question. You guys needed you assumed that the guy made as much as you did.
But you just said you. All right, go ahead.
I mean, I didn't put any qualifier on it. I just said, how much do you want to pay? You're married to a guy.
But after she said 50%, you added the qualifiers.
She answered the question based on qualifiers that didn't pertain to the question, Erica.
You got it.
I mean, I don't understand. Because it changed. Her 50% wasn't the same when the guy made $1 million. So she doesn't want to pay 50% no matter what the man
We can't hear you, Lydia.
Landra?
I'm sorry, Landra.
Is you asked the question and you said, how much do I want to pay? Once I gave you an answer, you did not feel as if that was a good enough answer for you because you felt like that answer was based on different things, which it is. Let's acknowledge that. But that wasn't the question. So your question was, how much do I want to pay? I answered it. You made it a dialogue by adding the additional discussion questions into it. That's all she's saying. She's just saying that you added. All she's saying is you added.
Why did you say 50? Why is 50% what you want to pay, no matter what the man made? You didn't know what the man makes. Why did you say 50?
Because I believe, for myself, if we can both manage it, then I believe that we should be splitting the bills 50-50. That's why I said that.
But this what doesn't make sense to me, because you wouldn't say that if the man's a millionaire. So so your 50-50 changes. I ask a question.
Because that doesn't make sense. How can she pay 50% of the bills if she doesn't make $1 million too? The question, you can only answer the question that way is if she's expecting for both of them to be on the same financial spectrum. That's not true. That's not true. If they both are millionaires, then yes, they can both expect to pay 50-50.
You can pay 5% of the bills whether the guy's a millionaire or
okay, so then the answer has layers then. I can pay 50% if we both make the same, but if he makes more than me, I only expect to pay 10% or none. It's not a one answer question. It's not as direct as you trying to make it seem.
It's what you. Oh my God! It's what you want. You can.
It's based on what you both
what
make.
I want, and I want to pay
50%. Exactly. Bottom line.
Yes, I want to pay 50%.
Hey, Derek, can I make this like a quick turn? We've been on here a while.
Yeah.
I'll say for myself, for Black Belt, I want to pay all the bills. And the reason why I want to pay all the bills is because I don't believe in 50-50 because there's no such thing as 50-50 leadership. So the way I look at it is I'm more than willing to take the bulk of the financial responsibility because this is, I am the leader of the household, or I am the captain of the ship. So that's the way I look at it, at least.
And Black Belt, I appreciate you saying that, because that's the type of household that I grew up in, where my dad was like, "No, I'm taking on the responsibility of covering the finances, providing for my family financially." So that's what I'm saying. In a marriage, that's do I expect my husband to do that? No, not necessarily. But if he wants to, if he feels the same way that you do, like that's the responsibility that I want to take on as the man of this house, by all means, I'm going to allow him to do that. But the point that I was making, which I think that's when Darius got off track, was if for some reason he was no longer in a position to do that, I wouldn't want him to feel so confounded to that gender role that he still wouldn't allow me to help.
Well, I don't know I'll speak for myself. I wouldn't see it as being I mean, sure, it is a gender role, but I wouldn't see it as myself being confined to a gender role because this is something that I desire and I want and I expect of myself. So I guess in a way, I wouldn't see it as I would never see it as she's trying to relieve the pressure off because I'm just going on this rough patch or whatever, because I just put that pressure on myself because I want all the benefits and praises, and if I want all that, I want all the nicks and bruises if things go wrong.
And here's my point, and let me cook for a second, but I don't believe when y'all say y'all want to pay 50-50, I don't believe it. I don't believe it one iota, because there are different factors that affect the man and a woman in a marriage that would make 50-50 not always ideal and not always possible. Think about this, like I mentioned before, in a 50-50, what you're saying when you say you want to pay 50-50 is that if for some reason, let's say you're pregnant and you have twins, guess what you're not doing for a period of time after you have your children? You're not working, but you're contributing to half the bills. So now your husband has to pick up the slack of half the bills because you can't work because you're on maternity leave.
Honey, let me just clarify.
She just said the same thing, that if her husband got sick, if her husband was unable to work, that she would be in the same position.
Correct. So I get that. But let's be intellectually on point. What's the women have children in marriages at a rate far more than men lose jobs, but come on. We're equating that to a woman having children. Yes. A man, hold on. Let me ask a question. Hold on. You're saying that the men lose jobs at the same rate that women have children?
Yes.
The rate is the same.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
I want to make sure I got this right. You're saying that men that are
get
married
pregnant every day, but men also lose jobs every day. What's the difference? The same as a man falling and hurting himself on the job and being out of work happens on a day-to-day basis.
Sick, not being able to work.
Exactly. It happens daily. You can't compartmentalize those things. Those are all happenstances that happen in life. You can't foresee those things. You can plan pregnancy, but you can't plan disability. You can plan pregnancy, but you can't plan sickness. You can plan a pregnancy, but you cannot plan this man losing his job or getting laid off. Or if he works for the union and they just so happen to go on strike. You can't plan those things. So make that make sense.
Can I say something about the gender? I mean, not the gender roles. The guys getting the short end of the stick.
Go ahead, go for it.
Yes, please. Let's change this topic.
I don't know what Erica's talking about.
No, we don't know what you talking about.
Go ahead.
I'll say from my opinion on this, do gentlemen get the, I guess you could say, the short end of the stick in dating and marriage? Yes. However, I would say generally, and I'm probably gonna piss off some guys. It's probably because you lacking in your manhood if you get in the short end of the stick. That's probably going to be more times than not the reason why.
I need you to explain that a little bit because I was kind of on your side until you got there.
Oh, okay. Because
he's not providing and stuff.
Wait, sorry, what'd you say?
I was talking about, but I think you were saying like what you were saying earlier about not providing and being able to take care of business and leading properly.
Yes, because I'm a firm believer that manhood starts with you and ends with you. Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna say straightforward. I talk about this on my channel. If you're letting your woman whoop your ass, not literally, like figuratively, in the relationship, and she's just bossing you around, and you get taken to the cleaners, I refuse to believe you're winning in the professional world against other men. So
now, I have to agree with you right there.
To me.
No disagreements here.
No disagreements there. Nothing makes me more angry than to see
a passive aggressive man.
Yes, or I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say nothing makes me more angry than to see a woman that will take advantage of his passive aggressiveness. Some people just are not. I mean, I'm not gonna say that being a passive aggressive person is such a bad thing because some people are just not confrontational, and that's not a bad thing. But nothing pisses me off more than a woman who knows that her man is not confrontational and take advantage of that.
And I understand that. I would say I agree with Darius though. For a man, well, first off, being passive aggressive, that's no disrespect. That's a feminine thing, in my opinion, being passive aggressive. Very much so. But I would say the reason why, and I don't think you need to be confrontational necessarily to, not get ripped off. It could just be really as simple as you not getting, we'll just say, getting what is it? I don't want to use that word on your channel. We'll just say p-whipped. And being able to, do your due diligence. Make sure you're picking a quality woman. If you're just picking someone who gives you the easiest access to sex, well, it makes sense why you're going to get the outcome. Or if you're making your whole, if your accomplishment in the world is how many women or what's the finest woman I could get, if that's one of your top 3 to 5 goals in life, I can assure you I'm going to point you out to a loser as a man. Because women are supposed to be a byproduct of your achievements and success. That is by no means supposed to be some top 5 priority. Women will come if you're taking care of your business. And more importantly, you're not going to attract. I mean, women try you. That's like just not like women try you for various reasons, but women also try you as a man to see. They want to know, all right, are you still the lion I think or I met, or are you toothless and fangless now? And it's your job to show I'm still Scar. I'm still out here. Like I am who I am still, and it's not going to change. That's her reassurance.
That's an interesting point, and I agree with you. This is crazy. 95%. Now, there's a 5% that I'm like, I don't think that's a one size fits all. And I do agree with you that if you are getting the short end of the stick as a man, and it's to a point where you're continuously getting the short end of the stick, then you're not the dog in the fight right now. You got to have some more dog in you, and then you would have something to leverage in this. But every man, how can I say this? Every man is not in a position of leverage, meaning that they are not six figures, they're not this or that and a third. So let's say you have the $50,000 guy. He's the average income in this country. He wants to get on the dating market, and he's willing to be a leader. He's willing to be a provider with his 50,000. We can debate how successful he can be with that 50,000, but he's willing to do it. He's willing to live a modest life, and he wants to, get modestly into the dating game. I think that the game of dating, the system of dating as we know it, is rigged against him from the start. And I feel that men who big up themselves and are dogs in the fight and have something to leverage, I think they're able to maneuver in this game a little better. I think that the men that are still on their way to getting there and they want to dip in this dating pool, I think they're going to expect the short end of the stick because the game is set up that way. And perhaps they need to wait until they get their cake up, wait till they get their weight up. As Marshawn Lynch said, get their chickens up, and wait to date later on once they are more established and have leverage. But I just don't think the everyday man, the general guy, the guy that's an insurance agent, the guy that works at UPS, the guy that making 45,000. I just don't think the system of dating and finding a mate is set up for him to succeed. I don't.
Well, honestly, serious, I gotta say, boo hoo, nigga. I mean, the world is full of people. The world is full of advantages and disadvantages. I don't know what to say. I mean, I get it. I get it. Some people might say, "Oh, that's just black belt talking because he's a tax attorney and he makes all this." No, that's just how life is. People have advantages. People have disadvantages. And for something like this, I mean, I get it if you're 23, 24, making 40, 50 grand, I get that. We're getting up to like 38, 39. Nah, bruh. That ain't, I mean, it's cool. You can stay there if you want, but you're not getting no sympathy out of me. And the thing is, what am I supposed to advise the women? This guy wants to be a leader. He says, he wants to be the protector and all this. But, you still got to work. You're mandatory 40 hours a week, or else you're pretty much barely above, poverty level.
But Landra says she's okay with it.
Who?
Landra. She's off the stream. She got booted off or something, but she says she's okay with it, though. So, I mean.
No. I'm not saying he can't find a relationship. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is this. If he has the same mindset of black belt in terms of I'm a leader, I'm a provider, no, the hell we are not. Not if your woman has to go to work for 40 plus hours a week, or else y'all can't pay all the bills. No, you're not. And that's not my opinion. That's just looking at the financial.
Are you saying if they're paying 50-50 and he's claiming to be a leader, he's not because of that?
I don't think so. No.
You by definition cannot be a leader if you're sharing responsibility. In my opinion,
I don't have any comment. I just wanted to clarify.
No,
but let me push back, black belt, and I'm gonna use the women's examples. I'm gonna use the women to push back on you because this is what they saying. They're saying, black belt, you're a tax attorney, you making all this gula money, and you taking 100% of the bills. But God forbid, lightning, you get struck by lightning. You can't go. You can't make any money. So what then? So speak to that. Are you still the dog in the fight? Are you still the lion that's out there going to get it when unforeseen events, as women put it, put you in a position to where you can't make that source of income and contribute 100% to the household? How do you combat that?
He most certainly is. He can't. If something happened to him, if he had an accident or something, and he's out of work for a little while, that does not make him any less of a leader.
Exactly.
He's still very much a leader. He's still very much the man of that household.
And that's why he has a queen.
He's in a position right now where he's unable to work. But it would be totally different if he just woke up one morning and decided, I ain't going to work no more. You gonna
we didn't
you
say
gonna
that.
over the bills.
That's not an example. That's not the example. The example is that from unforeseen circumstances cause him not to be able to work. And I was actually kind of pointing this to Black Belt because he's the one that's saying, and I'm just pushing back. I agree with Black Belt 100%, but for the sake of argument, I'm using the women's argument to see where you stand on that.
That doesn't make him any less of a man.
I asked Black Belt, is your name Black Belt? Yes or no? Okay. So Black Belt, speak to that. Let's say you can't work anymore. You can't make that moolah. How do you view that scenario?
And I'm just asking for a just to make sure we're on the same page. Okay. Are you saying I cannot work ever, or are you just saying like for a short-term period?
I'm saying that it's not forever, but it's significant enough to where your household will feel the effect of you not working.
Well, if we're married, honestly, she's just stuck here. I mean, I don't know what to do about that. But if we're just talking about in a relationship, if we're talking about, say, Black Belt's out of commission for a year, is it an absolutely, gregarious gesture from her to hang in here? Absolutely. I do not expect any woman to sit around though for a year while whatever the situation happened to me just out of commission, not producing. If she does it, great, but I'm not expecting her to do that at all.
Okay, so that's fair. That's fair. See, I respect Black Belt because no matter the situation, he's going to take responsibility for it. And he's upfront with what his expectations are. And, when it comes to gender roles, I genuinely feel, and ladies, you can speak on this and I'll let y'all have the floor. I just think when it comes to gender roles, one of the issues that I see is that women are not upfront with what they're really willing to do. I think they put on Front Street, but they're willing to accept worst case scenario, but not what they want. And then they feel they settled after a period of time and no longer happy. So what do you say about that construct, guys, ladies?
I think it's clear how I stand, how I feel about gender roles, but like, what do I want as a woman? I want to.
Well, let me ask the question. Do you feel women as a whole are clear about gender roles, what they're willing to do, and are honest with men with what they want to do and contribute to a relationship?
I mean, I can't speak for all women. I can only speak
let's say 10 friends, female friends. Out of those 10 female friends, do the majority of those female friends know what they want and able to tell the man exactly what the expectations are they're willing to do? Or are some saying one thing and then they get in a relationship and it's totally different? Sample size.
I would say about 60% have made clear what they want and have stuck with it.
Okay. You said about 60? Okay. Erica, what about you? Do you see women being more upfront, being more transparent about what they actually want to contribute in the gender wars, the roles? Do you see them being more upfront or less upfront?
Honestly, I would have to say I'm honestly on the fence about it because I kind of agree with what they're saying as far as women aren't clear. They like to put on facades in the beginning of relationships and pretend like they are okay with certain aspects until it gets down to the nitty-gritty and they actually got to show and prove. However, my circle of friends, we bout what we talk. So I can't, anything that I say I'm going to do to the fullest extent of that, and my friends included.
Okay.
If I could just say to the point of women being more direct in what they want.
Yeah.
I agree.
Go ahead, Bill. She'd like to interrupt. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, this is actually, I think, the paradox that some women don't realize. Like, like Erica was saying, when you're vague or broad with your wants, I think some women think that means they are opening up their options to better, I guess, quality choices. But I think what generally actually, oh no, my light went out. But what generally actually happens is that they end up opening and broadening their options to, I'll just say, guys who don't fit their qualifications because they're not being specific. Like, for example, I've asked women on date, not this on the first day, but I asked them plenty of times, what kind of car would you want to be driving in 5 years? Because I'm just thinking in my head, okay, if I'm going on a date with you, I'm pretty much going to presume we have the capability of going long term. If she says it in 5 years, oh, well, I'm expecting to be driving a Porsche. All right, cool. I know what the expectation is. Or if she says in 5 years, I want to be living in, 3,000 square foot home, I get what the expectation is. Or if she says, I want 2 kids. But my point is just, I think it's best for guys to know what exactly it is women want, because guys by natural are hunters. And if you tell us exactly what you want, pretty much what you put us in the situation where it's all right, I have to determine pretty much right then and there, maybe not to your face, but I got to determine later that night before I go to bed. 1, am I even capable of giving you this thing you're asking? 2, do I even want to give you this thing or not? And then I think that'll alleviate a lot of time being wasted, frankly, with guys who, in general, women feel like are just not, we'll just say, not hitting the bullseye.
Like, this is you're right, Black Belt. Like, this is why I think I figured out the formula of why women are like this. One is your nature. Okay, you ask a woman what she want to eat. Simple question. You won't get an answer. You'll be dead before you get an answer, a clear one. Her mind is going to change. It's in your nature, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But also, when women are vetting men, they have a tendency to wear a morality cape, and they want to say what sounds good or makes them seem like they're taking the moral high ground.
So Darius, I'm gonna speak on that for just a second, and the reason I'm gonna speak on that is because I had a conversation with we're not really friends, but we had a conversation about this very thing. And she was just basically saying that, she had always been told that she was basically like she used the word nag, but I don't think that was the best word. I think basically she was always told that she was, too picky. She had too many, whatever, like she was just too much. So she took that, and moving forward and dealing with some of the guys that she was dealing with, she basically just, not in simpler terms, she basically said what she thought they wanted to hear, what was going to make her more appealing, because she didn't want to come off as being this hard woman to deal with. And that's just a conversation that she and I had. So I get where you're going with that, that sometimes women put on this morality clause, and they say things that they think that God wants to hear. But, speaking from her perspective, I guess I understood why she changed what she did. It resulted badly for her, because she still didn't end up with what she really wanted. But it's kind of like, okay, and she was just kind of like in a position, well, what do I do? If I express what I want, then I'm seen as being too hard. But if I try to soften that, or if I try to just, I guess, please him, then I still don't get what I want. So I guess that kind of plays a part in it too. I'm pretty sure she's not the only woman out there that has, that has gone through that. But I guess, to some extent that may be what and I'm not speaking on all women, I'm just saying for a portion, that may be an issue where they don't want to appear as this demanding type woman, so they do tend to soften their approach in expressing what they want.
I'm with Mo on that. You do often hear about women who know full well what they want, aka alpha women who know what they want.
No such thing as an alpha woman.
Yes, there is. But
No, it's
anyway,
not.
that's not the topic of conversation.
Go for it.
Women who know what they want, know what they are going towards that goal, and don't have a problem with telling a man what they want and what they don't want in a man. They are known as pushy and self-righteous, self-centered, and are often told they're never going to get married and settle down and find a man
I
because they're
did.
too pushy.
I'm sorry, cut you off. Were you done?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I completely agree with what both of you women are saying. What I will say, however, is I think there is a healthy blend of those women are asking men that, and I don't know what the percentage breakdown is, so I'm not going to even try to say it's half and half or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is a healthy blend of women asking men who I mean, we know you want something. Like, we know you want things. That's not even a question. But they just can't fulfill whatever it is they're asking. So they'll say you're being bossy or you're being pushy or you're being demanding. But I do think, like I said, there's another healthy amount who they're asking for things. They're asking for things and they don't qualify for the guys who actually can do those things for them. And I don't know what those things are they're specifically asking for. I'm not thinking about any woman in particular, but I think that's a very healthy amount of women too, where some guys they just can't live up to the standards. I think there's some women who they're asking for, we'll just say, they're asking for 4-star, 5-star vacation qualities, but it's like, the guys who can actually provide that, you don't qualify for them for whatever reason it is.
That's a great point. It's like, okay, it's like we're trying to we're saying picky women versus women that settle, let's say, right? And we're trying to just, you're saying that, okay, women were picky and then that didn't work, so they stopped being less picky and start being more agreeable, let's say, and picking what men kind of want or whatever, even if that's not what they want. Well, men like myself, I'll use me. When I choose what I want in a woman, I look at myself. What kind of man am I? I'm very ambitious. I'm very headstrong. I'm a natural leader. I'm a natural authority. I like to have authority or whatever. That's just the personality that I have, right? And I'm introverted. There's certain personal things about me, and say, okay, this is the man I am. The kind of woman that I needs to complement me in most of these ways, so that the relationship can be beneficial on both sides. We complement each other based on who I am and based on what she can bring to me and what I can bring to her. And the better that we are complements of each other, the all relationships are hard, but the easier the relationship is going to be on at the foundational level, right? But when women are picky, and I'll just speak for me as a man, I don't understand where the pickings come from. A lot of these criteria doesn't really factor into the relationship or whatever, and men do too. Don't get me wrong, men, they want to, they don't want any short women, or they don't want tall women, they don't want fat women. They have preferences or whatever, and that's fine. That's fair enough. But men are, in my experiences, I'll say, men are more or less willing to either settle and be okay with it, or they're based on what they want, they're willing to do whatever it takes to get it. On the flip side, it's like women. The women that are not picky or that are so agreeable aren't agreeable because they were picky. In my experiences, they are agreeable because they value looking a certain kind of way and haven't really evaluated what they really want or really will work for them in a relationship. They haven't evaluated what's really important to them for a relationship to last long term. They have an idealized way of looking at relationships, and they base what they want off that instead of what works for them. And that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Hey, yo, Darius, sorry to cut you off, brother. I actually got to bounce. I got to go pick up that friend I told you about.
Gotcha, man. Thank you so much, Black Belt. On that note, man, we'll leave it off on that. Thank you so much, Black Belt in the black suit, for coming through, man. Guys, check out his channel. It's amazing content. You just saw tonight. He's an amazing, wise brother. He's a dog out here.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. He's a wolf among men. So go check out his channel. Go check it out.
Black Belt, I have a question for you. You said you practice law, right?
Yes.
What type of law do you practice?
I'm a tax attorney.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Just wondering.
And a black belt in karate, if I'm not mistaken.
And a black belt in karate.
You will
Which
kick
means
your
I
ass.
should not try you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Darius, for inviting me to you wild. For inviting
Nice
me
to meet you, Black Belt.
Ladies, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope I can come back again very soon.
Definitely.
Please
Hope
do.
to see you again.
Yes, you all have a great night. You too, Landra. I don't know where you went, but have a great night too, Landra.
She had a blackout in her area, so
Okay,
we'll keep her in mind. But thanks, Black Belt, man. Thank you so much, brother.
No doubt. Take care, y'all.
All right, take care, man. Yeah, y'all, I'm about to get controversial for a second. Okay. Somebody won't smoke.
Somebody want the smoke.
Somebody won't smoke. But before I get to that, let me get into this comment, because this is that's not the right one. Thank you, April Smith, so much for joining the show. I appreciate you so much.
Hey, April.
This comment, with all due respect, I don't see it. I'm an alpha woman because I always had to be, and I was raised by one. I love an alpha man I don't even know what the rest of the comment is.
I think the first comment that you said is
that I can submit to.
Yeah, I think it goes to that.
Trust. So it's harder for an alpha woman to submit/trust because they've been so strong and successful for themselves for so long.
There's no such thing. Stop this, ladies. There's no such thing as an alpha female.
There are alpha women.
No, they're not.
Yes, there are.
I'm gonna tell you why there aren't any alpha women, but you make the case for how there are alpha women.
I would love to hear this.
Keep it under a minute, please.
No, I'm listening.
Go for it.
I want to hear you.
No, you go first.
I don't have anything to say. I want to rebuttal off of what you say.
No, you have to make the case for an alpha woman. I don't
an alpha woman is everything that April just forementioned in these comments here. Alpha women do exist. They portray the same traits that alpha men possess, just in a feminine body. Does it come from maybe social stresses from a younger age? Yes, maybe an alpha woman grew up off of survival the same way that an alpha man does. An alpha woman is normally successful and are always in leadership roles. They are the dog in the fight. They're the one that you're gonna pick and that you know that's gonna win every single time. Their bite is bigger than their bark. Not only are they gonna bark, but they're gonna show it. They're gonna back it up with that bite too. Alpha women are natural born leaders. We see them every day.
That is.
And there's also research to back up alpha women.
We heard you. So let me inform our viewers. I love you guys. Y'all
Trash can waves. I just want to shout him out because he normally was bumping heads last week, but
yeah, but let me tell you
can.
why there's no alpha female. Number one,
I'm just playing.
I'm a killer. I'm a killer. I got you.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
First of all, what's an alpha? An alpha is a dominant head of something. He is a leader, and he is born alpha. He is born alpha. He is more or less groomed into this alpha role.
So
alpha.
if they're groomed, how can they?
Hold on. Did I interrupt?
I'm sorry. You're right.
So let me cook.
Cook.
Alpha. There's no such thing as an alpha woman, because women inherently inherit privileges. Women inherently inherit protections from society. Women are protected. Women are afforded privilege, and you scratching your face because you don't even realize the privileges that just womankind are afforded in this country, in society. There's alpha women. It doesn't exist because you guys have these privileges and these protections. And another point that JP, the inspiring matriarch, she's an awesome YouTuber. She made an incredible comment, and I want to highlight it. I want to absolutely highlight this. I can't find it right now, but she said this comment here. She said, "Alpha men do not come from survival. Alpha men are born."
Y'all smoking.
Alpha men are not thrusted into an alpha role because we need to survive. Oh my God. The fact that you are in a position to have to
hurt y'all.
But listen, we educating you. The fact that you are in a position to where you feel like you are in a place to where your survival is threatened means you're not alpha.
Who said anything about our survival being threatened, though?
That's what you said.
No, I did not. I said
alpha women
we grew from survival. I never said anything about it being threatened.
You grew from survival, meaning that you were in a position where you had to fight for your survival. Yes or no?
Not necessarily.
Then how can you grow from survival, Erica?
Survival. If I grew up broken, I had to go out there and get it. That's me surviving.
I need you to hear what I'm saying. To grow from survival means that you are in a position to where you felt like your survival is threatened.
Okay, so what's the difference from that and an alpha male then?
Alpha male is born.
How?
He's born. He is born with the mentality to lead. He is born with the structure to go out and get it. He is born with the wherewithal to go out and kill if he has to. His survival is not threatened because he's alpha. The lion is the alpha in the animal kingdom. In the goddamn jungle, the lion is not like, oh my God, I'm fighting for survival. Let me become an alpha so I can survive. He survives because he's already alpha.
Do you know that alpha men are built? Alpha men are made, not born.
You're born
they
alpha.
are not. You don't just wake up and go, I'm the head of this pack. No.
Listen, no.
That is a social skill that you built from survival tactics. Being alpha is based on your, yes, it is. It's environment based. Alpha, beta, delta, sigma, those are environment based. That's how you grow your personality off of your environment.
You're embarrassing me, Erica.
No, you're embarrassing yourself, bro. Please pick up a book.
There are cavemen in the Stone Ages that took the initiative to go out and hunt for food. The women weren't going out and hunting for food. The women weren't going out and being the protector of their tribe. Okay, why is that? It's because men were born to naturally protect, provide, and fight. Because they're alpha. They're born alpha. They're born that way. Women aren't born to protect. It's woman's nature to be submissive, to be complimentary, to be a nurturer.
Women aren't born to protect. You're right. But at the same time, every man don't feel like they born to lead.
That's fair.
Every man is not alpha. And you want to know why? Because it was based off of their environment. That's why there's no such thing as an alpha male being born. He is shaped into an alpha off of the environment.
You just said that the environment is the reason why he's not alpha.
Exactly, which proves my point as to why an alpha is only an alpha because of his environment.
No, he's born alpha.
That's why he's an alpha, because his environment inspired him to never be weak.
Man's nature to be alpha. Now,
no, it is not. Every man is not born an alpha.
Let me cook, and then I'll let you have the floor. Okay?
It's shaped off of their environment.
Y'all got like 5 minutes.
This is my show. Listen. An alpha men are born. But it's the social conditioning that allows him to be beta. Let's say a guy is raised by his mother, his auntie, and his grandma, and he comes out naturally feminine, naturally a nurturer. He comes out this way because of how he grew up. But he's born. Being an alpha is in a man's nature. Being alpha is not in a woman's nature. A woman has to be threatened to do the responsibilities of an alpha man.
And so
but an alpha man he's born alpha.
No, a
man is inherent responsibility from the day he's born. He is responsible. A young boy is looked at to grow up as a man, to be able to provide for his family, to go out here and kill, to protect, to be strong, to be a pillar, to be the centerpiece of his family. Women are not inherently built to do that. They feel like they're forced in this position to be alpha. They see that it comes with some kind of power that they like, but they have protections and privileges that prevent them from truly being born an alpha. You can have a woman that's a CEO of a company, but a man won't even be in a room alone with her because of Me Too movement, because she's protected. How are you alpha and you protected?
I just want to go on record and say that, I enjoy working and being a career woman, all of that. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying. I guess for me, I'm not trying to be no alpha woman, because I'm not trying to be on that level with them. When I think of alpha, I do think of men. Do I think that there are strong women out there that have been put in a position to where they have to, be that type of woman? Absolutely. But I'm not trying to be her. Like I don't ever want to be in a position where I feel like I have to classify myself as an alpha woman.
Because it don't exist. Women are not born saying that I'm an alpha woman and I want to take care and lead a section of people. I want to protect. I want to kill or die. I'm willing to risk my life for the good of the pack because I'm alpha. No woman is born to do that or saying that, but men say that every single day. You just heard Black Belt say, I want to pay 100% of the bills. What woman is saying that?
Well, I pay 100% of the bills now, but that's because I have to.
You're paying 100% of your bills, but Black Belt said in a family construct, I'm paying 100% of the bills. What woman is saying in a family construct, I'm going to pay 100% of the bills? Nigga, you don't gotta do nothing. What woman is saying? What woman is born to say that? How can she be alpha? Jesus Christ! And I love you, women, but y'all think it's like this. A dog.
Can we highlight what Trash Can Waves just said? He said a leader / a true man isn't born either. He's molded. Thank you, Trash Can, for once again proving my point.
Listen,
people are shaped based on environments. Hence, that's why alpha males are not born. They are made. The same way an alpha woman is made.
Listen, an alpha is the strongest of his group. He's the top dog. Men are born being stronger. They are born instinctively being an alpha. Women aren't.
You're shaped.
They're not born that way.
You are shaped into being an alpha. You are not born that way.
You cannot take a beta male and make him alpha.
Yes, you can. Do your research, Darius. Do you read or do you read?
Name me one beta male that everyone else knows that's a clear beta, and he leveled up and became an alpha goddamn male. Name me one.
I don't know any.
Because it doesn't happen, Erica.
No, but you're going on personal experience and not paper facts. Give me some facts to back this up, and I will shut the fuck up. But until then, I feel like Darius, you just talking.
Where are the
please fact check for me? Somebody who listening, please. Can we pull this up?
Listen,
because that's straight bullshit. I'm not going for it. I feel like you just talking.
What facts?
It's not fact based.
But what facts are you presenting? You're not presenting any facts.
Say less.
I'm asking. You were criticizing me for not providing any facts.
Okay, one. You said there isn't an alpha. You said there's no such thing as an alpha female. Where do you want me to start?
Where's your source?
I'm about to give it to you right now.
Who's the source? For the people at home, who's the source of this? You cannot take someone that's a beta, that's naturally submissive, that is naturally somebody that defers, that is naturally agreeable, and
this
make
is
him
from
an alpha.
dictionary.com. An alpha female is a powerful and successful woman, often in a leadership role. Alpha females are often described as intimidating by men and women alike. This is from dictionary.com. You're going to tell me the dictionary is wrong? Scienceofpeople.com, the alpha female, nine ways you could tell who is an alpha woman. Do you want me to go on? There are documentaries on the alpha female personality. Like, what else do you want from me? Even the Urban Dictionary, if you want to go that route. Like, we got and AnnaStratton.com. Like, even fucking
Erica, what are you talking
Harvard.com has an
the
Harvard University, the School of Harvard, the psychology department of Harvard has an entire thesis paper written on the alpha female.
Listen, Erica.
No, you asked me for facts and I'm giving them to you, but you just going off personal experience and not facts.
Listen, I'll mute you. I will pull a Kevin Samuels on the show.
Okay? What happened?
Nothing. Just let me cook. Listen, there are some people that believe the Big Bang Theory happened.
Oh, there you go. Justify your shit.
No, I'm just saying. Scientifically, okay. There may be some truth, there may not be some truth. But to say that a woman is born.
I never said that. I'm saying we're all molded. Alpha. No, alphas are not born. They're shaped.
No, they're not.
Okay.
They are not. You cannot take a person.
Agree to disagree?
No, you cannot take a person that is agreeable in nature and make them an alpha.
Yes, you can.
No,
people change with experience. Yes, they do.
You cannot.
And I'm going to give you a prime example. How many men do you know turned into dogs after one woman that they loved dogged them?
That's not an alpha.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
This is
okay. Didn't he turn into an alpha because one woman hurt him? I rest my case.
Dog with an alpha? That's a false equivalency. What are you talking about? A dog is not an alpha. A dog is someone that treats someone bad because of how they were treated. That's not an alpha. An alpha means the strongest of the pack. That's a false equivalency.
Who's to say he's not the strongest of the pack?
But you're not speaking about his being the strongest of the pack. You're speaking on him being a dog and equating that as being alpha.
I will continue this argument when you can give me facts based on your feelings.
Listen, you don't have to believe me.
I don't.
You don't have to believe me. But listen, Michael Jordan's an alpha. No one had to teach him how to be an alpha. They put him in a situation where either he's going to have to survive or die, and he survived. And he's been wanting to kill ever since. He was born that way. No one taught him that.
How you figure? You just said it yourself.
In fact, his coaches, the people that coached him.
You said he had to live or die. No, didn't you just say he had to survive or die? So isn't that him choosing to be an alpha based on his environment?
He survived.
He had two choices, right?
He survived because he was born an alpha. He was born to survive. He was not born to die.
I don't need to argue. I know I'm right.
In the animal kingdom, the lion is not afraid of the goddamn.
It's okay. Alpha, you can't change my mind.
Listen, there's no alpha female because for there to be an alpha female, remove all the constructs, remove all the privileges, remove all the Me Too's, remove all the protections. Okay. Why? If you're alpha female, why don't women pay more child support in this country? How about that?
That's because men aren't putting them on child support.
Please, the man can't because he don't even have custody of the children. Women in this country are so protected. Judges give them the children in a divorce, and then from that they get child support, and then on top of that they get spousal support because
we're going down a slippery slope. Stay on topic.
My point is that women have protections, and for you to be an alpha, there ain't no protections. You the strongest. You don't need to be protected. You are the strongest of the pack. That's my point.
Alphas need protection too.
No, they don't. They're the strongest.
It doesn't matter. Do you know what happens when?
Shit.
Do you know what happens when an alpha male is attacked or is threatened in a pack of lions? Do you know who do you know who jumps to the first line of defense before the alpha male does? The woman. The women lions.
What are you talking about?
What I'm saying is alpha males. We're talking about alpha males, right? When an alpha lion is threatened in a lion's pack, the women of the pack jump to the first line of defense to protect the alpha male first, not the alpha male.
What are you talking about? An alpha male is not gonna jump.
Like Trash Can Waves just said, an alpha male is nothing without his pack. So what I'm saying is to you, even though an alpha male is the leader, he is not always the first to jump. And yes, he is protected by his pack, because if the alpha dies, so does the pack. So we have to protect my alpha at all costs.
Oh my God,
what
Erica,
do you mean?
He's an alpha.
So why do you say he don't need protection?
The pack.
No, the pack is protecting him because he needs to lead the pack.
The male lion.
Like, bro, please the male do lion, your research before you argue with me on this.
The male lion is the protector of his pride.
Please read a book.
Jesus Christ.
Read a book.
I don't understand this. I don't get this. And another alpha lion is not gonna jump to another alpha lion's defense because he's not part of his pride. He has his own pride. Erica, you just making points and not really making any sense.
No, I'm making sense. You're not making any points. Christ. You just trying to get your point across, but it's fine. I know what I'm speaking, so I'm gonna let you say what you gotta say, but we can agree to disagree and we can move on if you like, because it's not gonna go anywhere. You can't change my mind.
Hey, you don't have, listen. All I'm saying is that for you to be an alpha female, remove the protections.
And I respectfully disagree with that. Alphas are protected.
No. If you're protected if you're an alpha female and there's an alpha male and there's protections to protect you from this alpha male, how can you be an alpha when there's an alpha male that you need to be protected from?
We're not talking about multiple alphas. We're not talking about multiple alphas in a pack. We're talking about this one alpha,
Erica,
being protected.
You're saying that there's alpha females, and I'm saying, okay, cool. If I even went and accepted your little stance that there's alpha females, then they shouldn't need any protection from an alpha male. But the truth is they have protections. How can they be alpha when there's an alpha male they need protection from?
That question doesn't even make any sense. So I ain't going to try to answer. But like I said, we can agree to disagree.
If you're an alpha female CEO, and you have a board meeting, and another alpha CEO of another company doesn't want to be in the room along with you. You know why? Because he doesn't want to be accused of doing something to you and lose his business. Because
this ain't got nothing to do with the alpha male.
Yes, it does. Because a true alpha male has no protection.
That's a lie. Sexual harassment laws are for male and female. They are not gender specific.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are the same.
They are not the same.
They are taken seriously in the workplace. If a man reports sexual harassment from a female colleague, his case will be taken just as serious.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
So I could say the same for when women go and tell on their bosses about sexual harassment. You know how many women are afraid to this day to go and tell HR about sexual harassment from their male colleagues because they're afraid of being fired, except for being they're afraid of being fired instead of being backed up.
Please.
So yes, these laws are in place. But nobody is using them because they're afraid of losing their jobs. Darius, let's talk about the facts.
The facts is that the Me Too movement was started by women.
So what? That doesn't mean it's only for women. Like it's not gender-based. It's not gender specific.
Yes, it is.
All right. Okay. Yes, now you're just talking.
The one guy, Terry Crews, that came out and said, "Ooh, me too." That dude got dragged. We dragged him.
Just because he was dragged does not negate his case.
And he did not get the same protections as some of these women.
Just because he was dragged did not negate his place. That did not negate his case.
He did not have the same protections as some of these. You know, I love you guys.
I disagree. I'm pretty sure he got help. He told his story. The Me Too movement was just for people to have a safe place to tell their story about sexual harassment.
Women are canceling. No, women are canceling men. They are canceling. Men are losing their jobs.
Women get canceled too.
No, they don't.
Yes, women get canceled.
Name one woman that sexually harassed a man and lost everything that she had. Name one.
I don't know any.
Because there isn't any, Erica. Stop.
No, you stop.
Jesus Christ. But anyway.
No, because it's like you just talking about like you just spewing stuff. You're not stating facts, but we going down a slippery slope once again. Like I said, Darius, look to the comments because I just feel like the people are with me. And you lost them.
That's fine. They can be with you. But they can't refute.
I need facts in order to
no
further.
What I'm saying though is
because you're not speaking facts. We want facts. You're speaking from personal.
Erica.
Personal. I'm speaking facts.
I'm gonna ask a question, and I just want you to be honest. And if you agree or disagree, fine. Do you think? And the women and the people in the chat, y'all can chime in how you feel. Do men get the same protection from women that women get from men? Yes or no?
Are we waiting for the chat to respond? Or do you want me to chime in?
Case closed.
What you mean?
Case closed. I'm waiting. Trash Can
Wave said yes.
Use a damn lie, Trash Can Wave. Trash Can, I love you, bro.
It's 2021.
You sipping right now, bro.
Men are getting the same treatment.
So you're saying that men are getting the same protections.
Yes, in 2021, absolutely.
From women that women are getting from men.
Absolutely. In 2021, with all this gender fluidity going on. And you gonna tell me men aren't getting the same safe spaces? Come on, man.
This is what I'm talking about.
Come on, man.
So you mean
it's 2021? All this social justice going on, and you want to tell me men still ain't getting a fair shot?
No.
Come on, Darius. Pick up a book. Matter of fact, get on the internet.
Where's the stats that say that men are getting equal protections from women than women getting from men? Where are those stats?
If I can find them.
Find it when women are getting arrested for domestic violence from men, the same rate that men are getting arrested from domestic violence from women. Show me that stat, and then I'll maybe I'll come on board. Are we serious right now?
Yes,
if God forbid, if I had a domestic dispute with my wife and the police showed up, and if I made any action towards her, I'm going to jail. She could have whooped my ass for an hour. And
that's a lie. I know situations where the man has been physically abused by his woman and he called the police and the woman was arrested. She probably in jail right now.
But I'm talking about at the same rate men are. At the same rate. I'm talking about equally. Men are protected equally from women as women are protected from men. It is not equal.
Okay.
That's insane to think. We're not there yet. Maybe we'll get there someday, but we're not there yet. No. But all
right, this is from plbsh.com.
Mm-hmm.
It says, yes, men can be sexually harassed in the workplace. And the title is A Growing Number of Men Report Being Sexually Harassed in the Workplace by Both Male and Female Coworkers and Managers.
Okay.
And that's the topic.
I'm speaking specifically for men being protected from women.
Okay. It says by both. It says by both, though. So I gave you more than what you asked for.
I asked a very specific question.
When I'm right, it's like you gotta tweak the question. Like, Darius, can we just move on, please?
Erica, I asked a specific question.
Can we move on?
I said, are men
because you're gonna keep tweaking the question to make it work in your favor, and I don't want to argue anymore. I don't want to argue.
I said,
you can't change my mind.
This is a show about smoke. I simply said, are men protected from women?
And my answer is yes, they are.
Hold on. Are men protected equally from women? At the same rate, women are protected from men. Where's the stat that says the rate is equal?
Well, you find it. I'm not looking anymore.
I'm not arguing for it. I'm saying they're not.
And I'm saying they are.
Okay, well, we can agree to disagree. That's totally fine. But you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me if you think that that is equal in this country. We're not there yet. I don't think
it is.
I truly believe.
Now, I will agree when you say we're not there yet, but I feel like at the rate we're going.
You just negated your whole argument.
I'm not saying they're equal, but I do think it's the same. It's getting there.
Erica, that's what
it does not negate.
Yes, it does, because that's what I've been saying for an hour. I said
like Trash Can Wave said, show your work, Darius. I showed mine, so show yours.
Listen.
But at the end of the day, like you said, we can agree to disagree. Like the idea here is not to change each other's minds. The idea here is to understand each other's points of view and agree to disagree respectfully if we can. But if we just gonna keep tennis balling this thing, I could do this all day. But I mean, at this point, I feel like we just need to agree to disagree and move forward. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I understand. I get that. But again, this is my show, right? And
You're right.
And I'm having commentary for a reason, because again, it's got the chat talking. Because
absolutely,
the chat's on your side, but no one has really spoken to the protection part and the privilege part that I also
Trash Can Wave.
Hold on. Listen, women inherently have privileges that men don't.
I disagree. That the privilege is equal, I believe. I just feel like it's the action behind the privilege that's different.
Women don't need to go to the club and have free drinks. Pay like the men are. Pay like those alpha men that are looking for women.
Who hurt you? Why do you?
I'm just saying.
So much. Like, I would love for there to be an episode where you target men as much as you do women, because boy, you be shooting some shots, and it just makes you feel.
Listen,
it makes you sound really damaged sometimes.
No, it doesn't. I'm just making a point. Refute the point. Don't attack me as a person.
I'm not attacking you, but I'm just saying the way I'm not attacking you, but I'm just saying I just feel like you attack women, and sometimes I feel like there's a motive behind that.
I ask questions.
Okay.
And I respect when people answer the questions and not add context that doesn't apply to the question. I said that women have protection and privileges that men don't. So how can you call yourself an alpha when these protections and privileges exist?
Because alphas get protection. I proved that case by my anecdote about the lions.
How can you be an alpha getting protections when the men don't have the same protection?
And the fact that you don't know that alphas have protection further lets me know that you have no knowledge about how male and female personalities work.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
Do you agree or disagree that men and women have the same privileges and protections? Do you agree or disagree?
Do they have the same privileges and protections? Yes, but it's conducive to them exercising those privileges.
Erica.
It's about action. They are in place. Those protections
Erica.
And those privileges are in place, but they have to exercise them.
Erica.
No, that's my name. Don't wear it out.
No, sweetie. No. Let's say a man and a woman gets divorced. Let's say the woman.
Darius, how many scenarios are you gonna give me?
Hold on.
Okay.
A man and a woman is divorced, right? For whatever reasons. No, they just decide to get a divorce. The man makes more than the woman. He's been taking care of the woman. When they go to court, the judge is automatically going to give the children to the woman.
Right.
Automatically.
Unless the man asks for
No.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Did you say that they were married?
They were married and they had a divorce.
No, it's not automatic. In divorce court, if you're married, they don't give the children automatically to the woman. If the man says he wants the kids, they are going to child custody court. That's a different.
No.
They are.
Before they get there, they have to get there first.
Exactly. But
listen, Erica,
it's not automatic. Yeah.
Yes, it is. When they initially get divorced, and before they go to custody court, the children go with the mother. In the state of South Carolina, I see this all the time. What are we talking about? The man has to fight for custody. Women do not have to fight for custody of their children.
If they're married, they do.
No, they don't. They fight for custody when they're on drugs, when they're incompetent, when they haven't had a job in so long, or can't hold a successful job, or been in drug rehab, or been a prostitute. That's the only time they have to fight for custody. If a woman is just a regular Joe Smo and living with her husband and decide to get divorced, the judge is automatically giving the children to the woman. And the guy's going to have visitation until they go to the custody court. And then from there, maybe he wins, but he has to fight for it. And in the state of South Carolina, the woman gets a attorney appointed to her. The man doesn't. The man doesn't have to have an attorney. He has to pay for an attorney to go to child custody court. The woman doesn't. And you tell me there's no protections between the men and the women?
Well, I can't speak on that because I don't know South Carolina laws. So I can't speak on what I don't know.
It's the same in Georgia.
I don't know the laws there. I don't have children, never been married, so I don't know those laws.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like when you say, men and women have equal protection, there are so many men.
I'm not saying no. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying you're right. I just don't know.
I asked the question earlier. Do men and women have equal privileges and protections? And you say yes. It's all about how they're exercised.
So if we're getting into laws, I can't go down that rabbit hole because I don't know specifics when it comes to child protection laws and family court. I don't know that. So I'm not going to jump into things that I don't know.
It's different from state to state.
It is.
Most states out west and up north are more liberal, so they may agree to a 50-50 split.
Except for California. California has tough family laws and divorce laws. I do know that.
Yes, they do. But down south, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Florida, they are not protecting men. They're protecting the women. Women and the women are just they don't there's no reason for it. It's because they're a woman. They have the children. They have alimony. They have child support.
Like I said, I can't debate that because I don't know facts. I would have to do my research and come back to you.
Okay, do your research on it and come back to me. But the privileges across the board and the protections are not the same, Erica, in all aspects. And for you to be an alpha, you have to be able to rise above those protections and privileges. They can't handicap you against an alpha male. That doesn't make any sense. You're not alpha then. If an alpha male has to rise up without any protections and privileges, and you're protected with privileges, and you could say I'm an alpha, I'm above this alpha male, but I'm protected and have privileges that he don't. That doesn't exist. Now, an alpha female within other females, perhaps that exists. Perhaps that is a thing. But an alpha female as its own entity in a competition with alpha men out here, that's not a thing. But anyway, let's move on. We got a few moments left. We'll take the last few minutes because you have more smoke for me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about we got heated.
It's all right. It got a little hot.
I get passionate about this because I feel like men get the short end of the stick, and
I get that, and I don't fault you for trying to stick up for the men.
Yeah, and I
commend you
because of the protections and privileges women have, and I'm okay with it. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying that they have them, so that men are often left their side not being heard because it's so often women are assumed to be the right party. They're assumed to be the one doing this and that and the third. And that's just how society is set up. And men sometimes have to fight, or we feel like we can't be heard because it's not masculine to say that I'm hurting or I got the short end of the stick. So, that's why I go so hard for the fellas, because who's speaking for us?
I got you.
You know what I mean? But we got smoke on the show. I believe that you're a boyfriend, Mr. Controversy.
Mr. Controversy. Oh, Lord. Why y'all do that? Why y'all start this pot? Why did y'all get him started?
All right.
Trash Can Waves, especially you, because you was on one last week. You my dog this week, but last week.
He already said it. He said we switching. We
switching positions. So we still got love, but I just want you to know. All right, here we go.
Shout out to April Smith. I know you a trooper. I know you a trooper, April Smith. But sweetie, just because you're an alpha female don't mean that's right. I'm sorry. Love you. Say what you want, but in a world full of alpha men, hire your alpha. But let's move on.
Whatever.
Let's move on. But we got Mr. Controversy. Talk to us, man. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, man? It's Mr. Controversial.
Okay.
Appreciate you having me, man.
My man, appreciate you. Now, let's get the viewers caught up because I think we have some new viewers here. Miss April Smith is one of them. God bless you. Let's catch everyone up. So, last week we had a conversation about exes. And let me be honest with you, brother. I love Erica's a good friend of mine, right?
Right.
But she got her ass lit up last week.
Trust and believe. I seen the last episode. I went back and watched it.
Yeah.
And I just want to set the record straight for anybody who had any questions. Definitely for Trash Can Wave. He was going in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Trash Can.
I just want to set the record straight and just make a believer out of the non-believers.
Right.
No disrespect.
I respect that, brother.
Right. So, Darius, what you got for us? Fire them off because I know you ready with the questions.
Super ready. So last week, Erica dropped the bombshell. She was like, "Look, guys, I got an ex, and he's my bestie. We were friends before the relationship, best friends or whatever, and now that we're in a relationship, they maintain their friendship. And the chat was kind of iffy on that." But it wasn't until she said that you of course have children and your baby mother is an integral part of your life and you have some type of friendship relationship, and I'm sure it's for the connection of the kid and just to make everything just peaceful around you. But when she said, "Oh, I had a problem with you and your baby mother," go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish because I got something I want to say on that too.
Awesome. So when she said you and the baby mom, I wasn't rocking with that. The chat and me lit her up because it was like it sounded hypocritical. Like, okay, on one hand, you're saying that you brought an ex that was from a previous relationship and he's your bestie now. Y'all been best friends, and we supposed to accept that, but you're not okay with him bringing his ex that he, for more or less, has to kind of have some kind of connection with. You weren't okay with that, so we were confused how that rocked. So talk to us about that. How did y'all deal with that?
Okay, I had a question for you. What does one have to do with the other? That's my child's mother. Now her friend, that's a totally different story. But what does one have to do with the other? I don't understand how you could run those two together.
Okay, so let's take the label of baby mother off of her. And are you and your baby mother friends? Like, y'all cool?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay, so let's say
we coexist in society.
You coexist, fine. Let's say that y'all associates, right? So you brought an associate that has some importance into the relationship. And Erica felt uncomfortable about this associate because of y'all history. But yet she brings an ex into the relationship as a best friend. She brings a friend into the relationship who was an ex. And they have history. And she made it appear to be that this arrangement was okay. Y'all really didn't have much discussion about it. But it seemed weird that she brought an ex as a friend into a relationship and it was understood to be, okay. And you bring an associate that you have to deal with in a relationship and it's not okay. She had to warm up to it. It seemed like it was a contradiction. If she brings a friend into a relationship that was an ex, she should be okay with you bringing an associate that you have to deal with.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is I should be afraid of her friendship with her ex.
Okay.
No, I don't fear no man but God. So in that sense of, what can another man do that I ain't doing? Or in a sense of, I shouldn't be afraid of him. I'm not afraid of him. Me and that man cool. We play Xbox together and all that.
And that's another thing that exploded the chat. That exploded the chat. Now we brothers, bro. We brothers,
right? I give you. I'm gonna give you all of that.
Yes, sir. I respect you to the fullest, and I even said last week that you are probably a bigger man than me. Respectfully, I give you that.
Trust me, I'd have been listening to you all night tonight, and
yeah, you a bigger man than me. You know, we may agree on some things or not, but you're a bigger man than me. But here's where I'm coming from. Now I don't want to, get too raw into it, but y'all won't smoke.
No, get raw. I'm controversial. I'm Mr. Controversial. Get raw. I like it.
I'm a confident guy, but in that confidence is a piece of me that just I can't get comfortable with my significant other, my wife in this case, willfully being friends with someone she was intimate with.
Okay.
Because I know how men think. And I know that men are not always friends with women because they're just good friends. Especially if they were intimate before.
Every man doesn't have a motive. I just feel like
Erica,
it's up to you. Nah,
Erica,
don't cut me off. Every man doesn't have a motive.
Yo, man,
you got something you want to say? You was
What is the motive? At the end of the day, as a man, just like y'all said, I'm an alpha male. You know, you put down what you want. At the end of the day, you can't stop her if she want to go out and do something else. Period. You're not going to stop it. But if you build a foundation at your home that you know that's good, who can come between that?
That's right, baby. Foundation is the importance.
You remember earlier in the show where I said that
relationship,
and I put on the women, but men do this too. But earlier I said women will say what sounds good, but in reality, what they're willing to really deal with or not deal with may be different. And I feel that what you're saying, this is my opinion. You don't have to give shit about my opinion, but what you said sounds good, and it actually may be how you really feel. But from my perspective,
it's honestly how I feel. I'm not. Yeah. I don't fear. At the end of the day, if she's going to do something, it ain't nothing I can do to stop it. I know for a fact that I do what I need to do to keep this foundation strong. Not only is she my girlfriend, she's my life partner. Anything more than that, I mean.
Let me go back to Trash Can's earlier point.
Yeah, he going hard.
Yeah, he going hard.
He going real hard.
Says, no,
not like he got some questions.
He does. I'm gonna bring him up. Trash Can, if you want to come up, bro, I'll drop the link and you can actually talk verbally. But if not, we'll rock like this. But he says no. In the line of discussion, when we asked why she was friends with her ex at some point in her breakdown of the topic, she brought up your baby mother, and that's true. We asking Erica why we really was grilling Erica on why she felt that a friend being her ex was necessary to bring it to a new relationship. And then from there, it was like she brought up that you had the baby mother.
Right.
And we was thinking, at least I was thinking that it was like, okay, she brought someone in, you brought someone in, cool.
No. But it wasn't that. I was just adding that for context. It's like, my thing is, I was adding that to help my case when obviously I ruined my case. I made my case even worse. But what I was saying was, I was using it as an example because I have this ex who's a best friend, and he also has this ex who is a best friend. I ain't gonna say best friend, but they're friends, who just so happens to be his baby mother. And I was like, basically what I'm saying is, if he can be okay with me having an ex-boyfriend as a friend, I can also be okay with him having an ex-girlfriend as a friend. And that's exactly what happened. So now we all cohabitate and co-parent and coexist as this one big happy family.
Let me call you out, Erica.
Yes, please.
Respectfully, bro. Let me call you out. Because you inconsistent. Your man here, and now you.
How am I inconsistent when I added it for context? Like I said it in the same You know, I said it in the same order.
And Trash Can back me up on this because this is perplexing.
Okay.
Last week you said that you brought a friend into the relationship and you painted your Mr. Controversy, your boyfriend. You painted his ex as being friends too. We went down this whole line of questioning. Were they friends? Did y'all hang out? And
I said yes.
You was like,
yes, I wasn't shaky. All my answers were yes. No, I was not shaky at all.
But here's the thing. This is where your argument falls. Okay. Because Mr. Controversy, I just asked Mr. Controversy where him and his baby mama are friends, and he said, we all right. We more or less associates.
We good. Like it's no beef. But we know what we are.
Erica said you and her had a friendship.
That's what we do. Yes, we do.
I asked earlier, did you and your baby mother have the friendship? And
we good.
All right, so scratch that. Yes,
we're good.
Friends, right?
We're
you
good.
Do not want to say friends. You don't want to say friends.
We're friends. If you want to hear that we're friends, we're friends.
Right.
We're good.
I'm just saying that because Erica brought your situation in as if you were friends with your ex, I'm friends with mine. We're all good. That's why she brought it up.
We are all good. Because that's how it is. But I just want to. This is me setting the record straight. I don't want y'all to feel like, oh, he got a baby mama. Bet I'm gonna bring my bestie in. That's not what it was. That's not what it is. And if you know me personally, then you know I'm not the spiteful type. I don't do tit for tat at all. I could care less. But what I do care about is having a healthy relationship where everybody is happy and everybody can express their grievances. Now, one thing I am going to address is I think it was Mr. Steve or Mr. Stewart who like completely bashed me in the comments and called me a goofy and all kind of other names and basically like put words in my mouth that I didn't even say. And I feel like number one, it wasn't fair. Number two, I'm questioning your comprehension skills. And number three, it's not right for you to assume and add your own context to my situation when you could have just asked.
Erica, and I told you this too. I said that his comment was rooted in a clip for which you had every opportunity to convey exactly what this friendship is. And you really did.
And I did. I said we chill.
You brought up to this point, you brought up your Mr. Controversy's baby mother, which has nothing to do with why you're friends with your ex, unless that's the reason why you're friends with your ex.
No, it's not, because we all came into the relationship with these friends.
But what I'm saying
is he already had a baby mama and I already had this best friend. But I wasn't trying to one up him.
You had no reason to bring that up because we were on you and your ex.
And like I said earlier, I brought it up for context to add to my reasoning. But like I said earlier, I shot myself in the foot. But like I said, I'm clearing that up. I didn't do it intentionally, but I thought by conveying that evidence that it would help my case, but it didn't. Like I said. So yes, I put my foot in my mouth, but no, I wasn't trying to prove anything by saying, oh, he got an ex, I'm going to bring my ex in too. I'm not that type of person. The less drama, the better.
You just disparaged a commenter, Mr. Stewart. You disparaged his comprehension.
Yes, because he still put words in my mouth. He still assumed.
You just said that
I brought an ex in.
No,
I didn't misspeak. I thought it would help my situation, but by the commenters, they feel that it hurt my situation. Y'all misconstrued. Well, I ain't gonna say y'all, but I feel like the audience misconstrued my correlation.
No,
all I was doing was trying to correlate.
You were in control of what you said out of your mouth. If you didn't want that misconception,
but not once did I say, okay, but like you say all the time, not once did you hear it come out of my mouth, I brought my ex in because my boyfriend had an ex. I never said that. What I said was, he has a baby mama who I had to get cool with. Also, what I wanted to say, the point I was trying to prove was, it's not one-sided. I brought an ex in that he had to get okay with, and he brought an ex in that I had to get okay with. So we're on the same playing field here. Is what I was saying. Like, it's all love is what my ultimate goal was trying to express.
No, it's not. Because you said
like I said, it didn't work out in my favor, and sometimes that happens.
Because you said you had to warm up to this ex, and I asked you last week. I said, and I'm asking Mr. Controversy, is he here? He can answer for himself. Thank God.
Right, please.
I asked last week, did you guys have a conversation about her friend, the ex? Did you have a conversation beforehand, before the relationship or in the onset of the relationship? Did you have a conversation?
Why would we need to have a conversation?
If my wife smashed a nigga, getting her back blown out by some dude, and he's around playing Xbox.
You thinking too deep. But why you worry about what happened in the past?
This is human nature. No,
it's not.
It's really not. Why you worry about? All you can control is the future. You can't control what happened in the past.
Right.
Bro.
You can control the now.
No disrespect.
Okay, so my question is, if you saw your wife interacting with a man and she came back to you, or you was right there and she never said nothing to you, how would you know that they fucked? If she didn't tell you, what would be the difference between her telling you? Would it make you uncomfortable that she spoke with him because you know that they fucked? Or would you be uncomfortable either way?
I would be more uncomfortable if I knew that they had they were intimate, because that's the context.
So you would rather her goose step and
walk on eggshells
around you with this guy.
Right? Why can't she have a conversation?
But why is it needed if y'all married now?
Exactly.
But I get it.
No, wait. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
That makes all of the sense.
She was intimate with this guy, and I don't know what his mindset is based on their history.
But you never want to know his mindset. You don't need to know his mindset. You need to know his wife.
But you know your wife's mindset.
No, that's why I feel I should need to know. Because why is it okay for my wife to be friends with someone she was intimate with if she's in a relationship with me?
I'm all for you on that. I don't believe in leaving niggas in the dark. I would never do that. I would never leave my boyfriend.
So what are we talking about? Why are you?
But what I'm saying is, why is it important to you? Is my question. Because sometimes it could skew. That's when insecurities come up. So boom, we out. We having a good time. We at the bar, doing couple shit. And next thing you know, me and my boyfriend, one of my ex-boyfriends or this dude I used to kick it with comes up. We have a little 30-second to a 60-second conversation. And next thing you know, he walks off. And you like, hey, babe, who was that? And you like, oh, this dude I used to kick it with back in school.
Your mind already racing.
All of a sudden, you mad. And you got 30 questions when they only had like a 30-second conversation. Is that not breeding ground for your insecurities? This is just for the sake of argument.
But you gotta let me rock, because I hear what you're saying. You're saying that this is a conversation, right? Your example includes a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about a friendship that still exists within the relationship, so they're not quite the same. I was just going off the context of the conversation. Let me answer the question. If my wife had a conversation with a guy or whatever she used to kick it with, then I'm not gonna press a conversation because it's a conversation. Now, would I be kind of, I'm gonna be attentive, but I'm not gonna press it because it's a conversation. I'm not gonna stress it for a conversation. But we're not talking about a goddamn station. We're talking about a friendship. This nigga is on the couch playing PlayStation. He's playing Madden 22.
Right. Yeah.
This is a different situation.
We're on the same team.
That's even fucking worse. Like, you on the same team.
Worse?
Because,
y'all looking at it as, okay, I'm gonna just say this, and then this is pretty much all I have to say. Y'all looking at it as, this man is my ex, and not looking at it as, oh, he's a good person and they're great friends now, and they built a friendship beyond their relationship.
We're
y'all just looking at it surface level. Y'all not looking at it beyond the tip of the iceberg.
We have a snapshot based on what you say.
No, you gave a snapshot, but what I said was, we were friends, but we dated 10 years ago. Why can't we be friends now? Literally, we dated 10 years ago. Why can't we made more strides in our friendship than we did our freaking relationship?
Listen, I'm married, right?
Yes.
And I have an ex who I was really good friends with
Mm-hmm.
before the relationship, and after the relationship, we were really good friends.
Okay.
But when I got married,
Things changed.
Things changed.
Did your wife tell you that?
Or did you do it out of respect?
I did it out of respect.
So it was. So it was your choice, not hers. She didn't say, "Hey, I don't want you being friends with her." You was just like, "Hey, I'm married now."
It's understood. It's understood
between y'all, and what's understood between us is what's understood between us. Ain't that right?
But it seemed to me like you wouldn't even have told this nigga that your friend wasn't.
Let me explain something.
But I did though. He knows.
I knew.
How did you? What's the conversation like? How did you know that this friend was an ex? What's that conversation look like?
It didn't need to be a conversation. All I had to know was, hey, who is that? I know his name. That's part of getting to know your wife or girlfriend and say, oh, so that's your ex. You put two and two together as a man. I mean, I didn't have to go into detail and ask questions. But at the same time, I know she don't look at him the same way she look at me. So I don't feel threatened by him at all.
So let me ask you.
Go ahead.
So let me ask you a question. Hypothetically, I don't know this dude that's your friend, the ex-friend, but let's say this guy comes over for Xbox one day and he kicking it with Erica, and let's say you gone because Erica said they hang out when you're not around. So okay, fair enough. Let's say he's over there playing Xbox, you stepped out or whatever, and he tries Erica. He tries to, see what's up. How do you handle that? And
that's the controversial person that's gonna have to go into that. Because there's no way around it. It's going to be told, it's going to be found out.
I'm telling.
It's no way around it.
But wouldn't you feel dumb to have befriended this guy and he's all this?
No, not at all.
Plotting the
holiday. Not at all.
Okay.
Why would I explain to me? Why would I feel dumb?
Because this is a guy that you knew that was an ex, so you knew they had some type of intimate relationship, whether it's mutual or not. And then you decide to befriend him because he's friend with your girlfriend, and come to find out this whole time he's playing Xbox with you.
It was kind of like a package deal.
It's not even a package deal. That's the wrong word to use because he's going to use that again.
Right.
There's not. It wasn't a package
deal.
No,
that's Erica.
Scratch
that's
that from the record.
No.
Scratch that from the record.
I can honestly sit here and say, I'm good. I can honestly sit here and say, you took basically the way she explained it.
Yeah,
you took it and you ran with it. Everybody took it and ran with it.
Yeah, it's the Heard 'em Say podcast. So we got
take it and run with it.
We got Trash Can.
Trash Can.
Talk to us, Trash Can. He's a brother of the channel.
What's up? I know it's been a little heated today, huh?
Definitely.
Very much so. Got me screaming on my new microphone. Go ahead, Trash Can.
Oh man. First of all, I just want to say I got very much respect for your girl Erica, man. She sounds like a smart, intelligent woman and everything, and it shows. And everything she got to say, it shows.
Thank you, Trash Can. I appreciate that coming from you.
Yeah, but just like my boy Darius, I can't agree with him on everything, even though I like him. I can't agree with him on everything, So what basically came up is we was having a discussion last week about if an ex could be friends with your woman. She's in a relationship right now, and what I was trying to figure out is let's say like I work in examples. I want to give it real life because I've been in the same situation where I had a ex who was friends with somebody she dated before, and she decided to cut that off. So I'm putting myself in the same shoes or whatnot. Let's say, like couples do, y'all have a heated argument. Y'all get into it. Now, him being her friend, we can't say whether she would or would not, but would you be comfortable with the possibility of her discussing a heated argument or something with someone she once had a relationship with? An intimate relationship with, and she's telling him about the problems that y'all having in y'all relationship. Because I said, if it's a nigga like me, and I see an opportunity and a little weakness myself, I'm speaking for myself. If I was the friend, hey, it'd be an opportunity for, hey, you don't need to deal with that. That nigga did what? He did what, huh?
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna try to pick at her. She could be a good woman all she wants. But me being a nigga I am, you know, I'm gonna try to pick at that opportunity. So would you be comfortable with that possibility of that occurring?
So basically what you just said was you're an opportunist, right?
Hell yeah.
Don't tell nobody else that.
Flat out. Hey, trash can ain't got no filter. You gotta know, trash can.
I respect to know that you're an opportunist, and I would never leave anything around you.
Yeah. but if he a nigga like me, he wouldn't have told you that.
Fair enough. True indeed, you wouldn't have told me that. But being the type of person that I am, that have different street smarts and different ways of seeing things, you wouldn't have got away with it.
So what would you did to keep him from getting away with it? You say you willing?
Oh, I would have cut you off at the legs. Hey, you can dead that.
So you willing to get into it with that man over your woman?
Whatever
if it came down to it,
huh? If it came down to it, yeah, we're going to war. All of that.
So you willing to risk going to prison over some? These are things in our relationship that we bring into our relationship willingly, and we introduce something as a possibility that, okay, this man might step out of place. Because all man do, you can't trust no nigga.
No,
all man step out of place.
Can.
So I gotta accept that it's a possibility. If he even if he came at my woman wrong, or he tried to assault her or tried to touch her in some way that I wouldn't approve of or she didn't like, if she came to me about it, I mean, as a man, I gotta be willing to kill that nigga if it came down to it. So you willing to introduce an opportunity of you serving prison time for something that she could cut off if he's that important. You know, if he's that important.
I feel like, I'm sorry, stepping in as a woman in a relationship, I feel like this is where I step in, and this is where I lay down my boundaries as a woman. And this is where I let this man know, like, hey, it's not going that far. And I feel like, as far as our relationship goes, Mr. Controversy is gonna trust me to cut that off at the legs and then tell him about it. Because one thing about me in my relationship, I'm a snitch. Any man, if we go out together, and any man, if my boyfriend walk off and go to the bathroom and some man try to step to me while my boyfriend is away, I'm telling. And I'm pointing to him clear across the bar. I'm just that type of woman, because that's the foundation that we have built. So if this man would have stepped to me, huh?
You got it wrong.
How do I have it wrong? It's called trust.
Because you're a good woman. So when you tell me a nigga that came at you wrong, and he'd have stuck his hand in your pants or something like that, ain't no you talking about it with him.
Oh no, he's getting killed.
I'm talking to that nigga. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, what I'm saying is, now, not to that extent, but sexual assault is a whole different level. I ain't even gonna go down that hole. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if this man were to make any type of pass at me, I'm comfortable, because first of all, if we're friends, like how I think me and my ex are friends, he won't ever do that.
Yeah, nobody ever think they'll do that.
Yes, you're right. I may be oblivious, but like I also said last week, if he does have some undying feelings for me, he better keep them suppressed, because I don't want to hear it.
So you accept there's a possibility that there's some undying feelings.
There's always a possibility of anything. We take a risk walking out the front door in the morning.
But the risk increase when you say it's your ex. This ain't just so.
No, it doesn't. It could be a random nigga I just met. No, it doesn't.
Thank you. Why do you feel like him being an ex is so, you take such a nonchalant approach to that. Like that doesn't mean anything.
Why do you feel like him being an ex?
It's such a threat
because he was intimate. He was.
But why do y'all feel like it's such a threat, though?
Listen, it's 2021. It's deeper than just getting the nut.
Exactly.
Let's just be real about the shit.
No, it's not.
Deeper than getting
for men.
Yes,
for men. For men, that can be all they want. And
no,
listen.
I mean, for some.
Come on, for some men, it could be about the nut. And to get the nut, they may listen.
Okay, so
they can
if
be friends
this
with
man
you.
wanted a nut so bad, he waited over 10 years to get it.
He knows. Listen, let me rock on this one. Listen, the thing that the reason why men keep exes around is because they don't have to put in the same work in an ex.
That's bullshit. Because I have my son mother around. And I don't feel the same way about. I don't even look at them in that way.
I'm going to finish my statement. I'm going to finish my statement. You have a relationship. I'm speaking on the men that maybe don't have anything going on.
And then you keep them bum ass niggas out your circle.
Okay, so let me continue my point. There are men that keep their exes around because they don't have to put in the same work with an ex that they do to somebody they don't know. If I have to meet a chick I don't know, I gotta wine and dine her, I gotta do all this work to get the draws. With an ex, I done did that work. We have the history. She could be horny, I could be horny. We hook up and boom. There's no work involved. This is why men keep exes around.
Man,
so
it sounds like she still lives in the past, if that's the case, because she ain't progressing and moving forward if she's still taking your fucking calls.
Hey, but some women do, and the point is that
and those are bum bitches. Hey, no disrespect to the women.
Hey, whoa, okay. I mean, that's fine, but I'm telling you that because Erica's making a point that why hasn't he said anything in 10 years, and it just could be that as an ex, there's a level of work that he'd already done put in to where if Erica's ever vulnerable and looking for God forbid, no, but is looking for something different, he's already got the leg up. He's not only been in a relationship with her, he's been friends with her. He knows the dynamic of y'all's relationship, and he knows her. He's already in the door.
All I have to say to that is not every man has a motive. Every man doesn't have a motive. Not most. Speak for yourself. And this is really showing your character, by the way.
If he's an ex and he's
so
basically speak on that.
I just got a question. I got one question. So basically, you want to live your relationship and your life in fear of another nigga.
It has nothing to do with fear.
No,
it's definitely fear. Both of you are speaking from fear.
Can I talk to the a man right quick? The man of the house. Can I talk?
He want to talk to the man of the house.
Okay.
With me, I talk because I have experience in a similar situation.
Right.
I had an ex who I was dating, and she wanted to hang out and have friends and hang out with her friends. And when I told her I ain't feel comfortable with her hanging out, I'm from Detroit. When I don't feel comfortable with her hanging out with certain women along with their man, because those some Detroit niggas. I know how Detroit niggas get. But she threw a fit and she cried and everything. So I gave in. I let her hang with dude and his girl and everything. One day they went out. I was out doing my thing. And they went out bowling and shit together. So I get back home and I see my one of my guns gone from the house. So I'm like, what the fuck that happened?
Whoa.
So from what I could derive, while they in there playing bowling and shit, she'd have left her purse in the car. And this nigga went in there, pulled her keys out, and went in my house and took something out my house. And me as a man, I was ready to do some damage to that motherfucker because I don't like nobody taking nothing from me.
Right.
So she placed me in a situation where I was willing, if I had found out where they were, to risk going to prison over something that could have been avoided if I put my foot down and said, hey, you ain't hanging out with no other dude like that I don't feel comfortable with. I don't feel comfortable. But if you as a man say, hey, I'm comfortable with this situation, then we gotta respect that. That's all right. I ain't gonna hold nothing against you. If you say you to consider all the consequences that could come out of this, and you cool with it, then I gotta respect you as a man. You handling your own shit. I know your girl good. I know she won't cheat on you. But I'm just saying the opportunity, you have to trust that man just as much as you trust her.
Fair enough. And do you trust that man?
I'm gonna say this: if you're not willing to risk life or limb for the woman that you're with, ain't no need for you to be with her. If you don't trust her, ain't no need
I
for you
asked
to be
you
with her.
a direct question.
That answered your question.
No, my question was a yes or no. Do you trust the man?
I don't trust no man. A man
so
is going to be a man.
So you don't trust your friend. That's what you're saying.
But do I fear? Do I feel like he's capable of doing anything that may jeopardize me hurting him or doing anything to him? No, not at all.
I mean,
straight face.
Honestly, let's just keep a book. Me and Mr. Controversy have been together for 5 years. Now, in this 5-year span, I feel like you said earlier, there would have been some telltale sign of this man wanting to get in on us, wanting to get in on me. Like, we would have seen that by now.
Not necessarily, Erica.
Yes, necessarily.
So you contradict what you said earlier because you said, Darius, that there is no way that you couldn't know over time. Over time, you said people always show their true colors. It's been 5 years. If he hasn't shown anything now, how would...
Listen.
Nah, bro. Back up what you said.
No.
Back up what you said. Because you said that I would know by now if there were any telltale signs that he was... You said this when we were talking about marriage and divorce.
I really, if I can keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck.
This not gonna sound good. Okay. But from hearing y'all, it seems like y'all not even paying attention anyway. So this nigga could have very well.
What do you mean we're not paying attention?
I said, let me keep it a buck. So you're gonna have to let me cook.
Go ahead, cook.
Y'all, this is how I feel. From what y'all say, y'all seem so nonchalant. Y'all so hell bent on proving that he's not a threat to y'all that it really doesn't really see like y'all really paying any attention to him anyway. He's just a person that's there, a friend. Okay, cool. But he could very hell well sent little signs and signals that you may not have taken as anything. I don't know what the dealings are. He could very well, and you just not paying any attention because in your mind you're fixated on the fact that he's a friend. So you're not seeing any signs.
I feel like you're... Oh, go ahead, trash can.
And to back up what Darius is saying, you Erica, you speak from facts, right? You like statistics, and
yes,
I see you hitting the statistics up. Who usually assault women? Is it people they know, or is it
normally people that it's normally people that know?
So it's people they know for years, right? That never showed any aggression until the time came where they actually did something to that woman.
Right.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say based on the 5 years that you've been knowing this man that he'll never, ever, just based off of that, do anything to me because he would have did something by now.
Right.
No, I'm just backing up with how Darius.
Yeah, it's again, he sees your relationship and you're pretty content. So he's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna let it rock. They cool, whatever, no big problem. She seems committed to her boyfriend, fine. But who's to say, God forbid, I don't ever want this to happen, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. Let's say something happens, and let's say he finds out about it. Because you said last week you really don't divulge your personal information on your relationship to no one. So he wouldn't know how your relationship is working. He can only see how it is from the outside looking in. So what if he found out that everything ain't good? Everything ain't woo. You're longing for something else. Who's to say that he won't jump in then because he actually sees an opportunity to jump in?
And if he sees an opportunity to jump in and he acts on said opportunity, he getting cut off. Straight like that. On both ends. Like there's no coming back from that.
But you said you be alone with him. So you saying you strong enough that after all this 5 years, this man been putting in to try to get with you. You just had a argument with your I was about to say husband, but your boyfriend, and y'all that got heated, you done told him about it or whatever, and he's tried to seize on that opportunity, and you shut him down. You said no. And after all these years he tried to be putting in, he got shut down like that, and he gets upset, and he tries to take it further. you're gonna be strong enough by yourself as a woman to hold that man off of you, and then let him know.
First of all, number one rule in this relationship.
That's kind of extreme, ain't it?
Okay,
I'm
definitely extreme. But I'm gonna speak from what I know. In this relationship that we got, we stay strapped, and I keep that thing on me. So ain't nobody even getting that close.
No, you got to get to it first.
Oh, it's there.
You got to get to, so
trash can. God dang, bro.
It's there. I mean, if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, baby, it's there.
This is not.
I ain't got to run to it. It's there.
Okay,
keep that thing on me. That's law in our relationship.
Law. Hold on, we getting off the rails now. Trash can. Thanks a lot. We don't want to condone any violence here or anything. We don't want to go down that road.
We don't condone it.
No, but I'm putting it out there. Keep that thing on me. That's
we understand, but we were just asking questions regarding just kind of the comments that were made last week, and it seems that you guys are perfectly fine with what's going on. You have it all under control.
Foundation.
That's right. Strong foundation.
And that's what matters. I'm just playing devil's advocate because this is my show, and it's very interesting to see people like you guys, because everybody disagreed with Erica last week.
Yeah. So
to hear that your side of it really opens a lot of people's eyes. That even I'm reconsidering some things. Like, you know what, maybe he does have a sense of security that more people can have. But on the other hand, it's like I would never.
He dumb.
I mean, I would never put my wife in that situation. If she's a fighter, my wife's a fighter. So even if I'm friends with someone I used to be intimate with, and let's say that girl says an offbeat comment, and she don't think nothing of it, but my wife is offended, and now she want to fight.
And you should address that.
But that's the thing. Why is she a friend? Why is she still in the picture?
Man.
Because now I create an avenue to where put my wife in a position to where she could get offended.
And I understand that part.
Instead of just cutting it off from the jump, because is apparently Erica said last week, if you said I don't want this nigga to be around, he's done. So for her to feel that he's that easily cut off, if you say so, then is he really that damn important to begin with? I don't think so. So
that's not true. It's not about if he's that important. It's about me caring about. It's about me putting my relationship first. And I feel like as a friend, if I ever came to him and been like, "Hey, we got to slow down on our relationship. My boyfriend is getting uncomfortable." If he's a good friend, he would understand that, and he would fall back as a friend.
That's another thing I had a question about, because you said that your man can cut it off at any time he want to.
Yeah.
If he told you, but he just said he can't control whatever you do. What I'm supposed to do?
So which one
he
is it?
can't. He could tell me. He could tell me all day, "Hey, I don't like that nigga," but it's up to me to obey, is what he's saying. Like, so he could tell me that he don't agree with it, but what he's saying is he can't control my actions going forward after he spoke on that.
It sounds like y'all passing the buck. He's saying like, I can't control what she's doing, so I'm passing on to her.
No,
saying,
it's not
if he
passive
says
at all.
cut it
what
off,
he's saying is I'm gonna let it be known, but at the end of the day, it's up to her to pull the plug on that, is what he's saying. Go ahead.
How many situations have you been in before you was married, and you told somebody, "Hey, I don't like that person. You need to stop hanging around," and they secretly still hanging around that person?
I'm sure it's happened, but I know I'm sure it's happened. So but I'm very clear about if I don't trust somebody, I'm like, look, I understand the history and everything, but for this relationship to work, that's maybe a problem down the road for whatever reason. Now, if you want to continue if this is important to you, and I can't make this work, then just know that it is what it is. But for this to work, I think it'd be best if you cut that loose. Now, if she goes around and has him as a friend behind her back, then that's what does that say about her character? She could have said she could have said to my face like, "Hey, I'm not doing it," and then I have a decision to make. Am I going to stay or go? And I'm probably going to be like, "Well, I'll kick rocks. I'm done."
Exactly.
But but what are we saying?
That's the point. That's the point we're trying to make.
What's the point?
You can state your grievances all day, but at the end of the day, you have to have trusted me to put action behind how you feel. And that's going to determine.
You trying to cover it up. I'm not
covering up anything. No, that's what I've been saying.
If this man says,
cut it off,
done.
It's cut off. That's me stating my alliance with my boyfriend.
If he knew that that's how you feel, then he would have never said, I can't control what she do, because he would already know. Listen.
You can't control. You don't have control over anybody. Is what
y'all don't do.
You got control over your wife? No disrespect.
You want to be honest?
Yep. Yes, hell yeah.
What Darius saying, and what she
on the air. That's her right there.
Yeah, I do, but it's the inverse is true too. If she ever told me to cut one of y'all Negroes off, and she told me, "Hey, this is gonna make me uncomfortable," I'm cutting you off because I have so much respect for her too.
And that's the same thing she just said.
I said
that.
No,
shed some
the
light
different
trash can.
Go ahead, trash can.
What Darius was just saying, and what my brother Controversy just said is, how am I supposed to tell her to stop doing something and she might do it? She's saying if it's done, it's done. But if he got that knowledge in the back of his head,
he would never said that.
If I have a problem with something, why would I even bring it up? Because I'll keep it to myself. It's up to her anyway.
That's a good point, Church Man. That's a good point. But this is my point too. You said, because Erica said last week, if you ever said to cut it off, it's done. So if you guys had, and you may not have conversations about it, but if you guys discussed this, and Mr. Controversy, if you knew this ahead of time, then you would have reflected what she said last week. You would have said, you know what? If I say cut that nigga off, it's done. Because you would have lined up with what she said last week. That's all we're saying.
And that's what it is. Some what's understood ain't got to be said. And it's understood over her.
What? I don't believe that, but okay. If that's how y'all rock.
It's exactly. It's not for you to believe. It's not.
I think for understanding, you have to communicate that this is what it is. And it seems that you guys have different.
No, it's nothing different over here. Y'all might be taking it differently, but we have an understanding. We openly communicate.
Okay. That's all that matters. I love y'all relationship. I really do hope for the best.
Therapy.
I really
man, you got you a great woman.
Erica's great. And Erica, you got you a stand-up dude. He's a guy that ain't worried about no exes or nothing like that.
I appreciate it.
I can't worry about a man. I can't worry about the past. I only see the future.
Bro, you say
that won't change.
I'm saying that. I don't got a real mirror in my car because I don't look behind me.
Mr. Controversy, I want to pray. It's getting late, man. Because I don't know about that. You just said that you don't trust this nigga, but in the same turn, you're not fearful of no man.
No, he did not particularly say he don't trust that nigga. Yes, he said he don't trust no man.
I don't trust no man.
So your ex is not included in that no man?
Yes, but it's not specific to him. What he's saying is, I can't trust anybody's motives but my own.
I got a personal question.
Go ahead,
trash can. Keep it in the pocket, bro.
I will keep it in the pocket. It ain't that personal.
Jesus Christ.
You know. Can I ask you?
Please, I want to know.
If my brother, he seemed like a protective type of dude. If my brother had to go there with a dude and he had to go to that level and he ended up getting time, let's say 10 years, you gonna be there? You gonna be there for him when he get out?
Money on his books and everything.
If that came down money on the while he's sitting in that cell, he had to consider, damn, I'd let this woman get me into this predicament, because that's what it happened. You let him get into that predicament where he had to risk his freedom and had to take up for you. Yeah. While he's sitting in that cell, he ain't got nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm. I'm sending nudes. I'm putting money on his books and everything. No cap.
Okay.
All that for 10 years. I don't care how long it takes.
Yeah, my wife is so annoying. She said this dumb comment: "What's understood in a relationship doesn't need to be explained."
Isn't she right, Kyla? Thank you.
To us, no.
Shouts out to you because she know what it is.
To us, no. To us, no, we don't need any explanation for your relationship.
Exactly.
But to each other, I feel like you should explain any and everything you possibly can. That's all I ask for. Y'all, because y'all have a really good thing going, and I enjoy y'all, and y'all have a podcast coming soon, to my understanding.
We do. It's a little iffy on the name right now. We having some copyright issues.
Oh God!
You can't drop the link,
man. No, because it's not up.
You're still working on it. You're still working on it.
But it's definitely going to be in works. It's in the works before the end of the year, so y'all look for it. And I know my dog Darius got me on the promo and all of that, and I'm gonna continue to promote his. And I just want to say thank y'all for having us on the show, man. Y'all continue to look for us. Now, I will say our podcast is going to be completely different from Darius's.
It's going to be real.
Yeah, it's going to be that. But Darius's is too. But I mean that in the aspects of how you can get to it. Ours is going to be strictly audio only right now. So definitely look for us on Google Podcasts.
That's exciting.
Podcasts and definitely Spotify. And check us out, man. It's gonna be audio only, and definitely in the beginning, we just want to get down to the nitty-gritty of things and just have y'all hear us for who we are and what we stand for before we go into video and all of that stuff. So, man, look for us soon. Man, we're gonna be on y'all airwaves in no time. So I appreciate the support, Darius. And keep on doing y'all thing, man, because I really appreciate the platform. I appreciate for you giving us a platform on your show, because you definitely didn't have to do that.
No,
and keep checking us out.
You guys are awesome, man. Like Erica is, really opened up about her podcasting career.
Definitely,
and she really wants to include her man and Mr. Controversy, and that's important. Black communities, we don't see a lot of healthy couples anymore, to be honest. And to see a healthy couple talk about the nitty-gritty, get to it, and still show that you can be strong through all that, that's exactly what we need. This is what this sector needs. I'm covering the men's back. I know that there's plenty of women. Miss Suzette Speaks. Shout out to Suzette Speaks. She's not listening to the podcast. That's fine. She's a big YouTuber now, but she's holding the women down. She's an attorney and she's holding the women down. And you got MTR, lead attorney, my guy. You have Cameron Samuels, people, he's a godfather. He's spitting facts, but he's out here holding it down for the men. So everybody's got all bases covered, but we need couples that are going to talk about real things and show that you can be strong, you can stay together, you can still have that love there. And I'm all with y'all, man, all the way, man.
I appreciate that, man. But we look good right now. But when we start up, trust me, you think she gets upset with you? Man. Oh yeah, I can take it.
No,
because it's real now.
Yeah. If I could just say, man,
for nothing.
That's right.
Thank you, Darius, for introducing us to all these people, man.
Right.
These are really cool people. You be bringing some crazy people on your show. They's really cool, man. I'm letting y'all know right now, I'm gonna be your second subscriber. I know your best friend gonna be your first, but I'm gonna be the second one to subscribe to your channel.
Yes, I can't wait.
Definitely keep me on my toes because I like your comments.
That's right.
Yeah, yes. Cool, my G.
Yes, again, it's getting late, guys, so I'm about to wrap it up. Okay, next week's show. Okay, Naomi the homie's coming back. I think Monique is going to be here. She probably had to step away. Hopefully Tori's back next week. You guys are welcome to, we might open some panels up for discussion. You guys want to come in, chime in. It's going to be about domestic violence. We're going to go down a real tough road.
Ooh, that's going to be
a tough road.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to put the trigger warning up because I got some. I don't have really views. I'm more or less want to just have a discussion. It's not gonna be a debate or so. I'm not gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna actually advocate on this one. So, but we got the domestic violence show coming up. We may have some special panelists here. I'm still finalizing everything, and also in the next coming weeks, we're gonna have a podcast about child support. We're going to get to that child support because because a lot of people think that men just go out here and just get child support, and it's not the case. Y'all have been sadly mistaken, and hopefully I can get the lead attorney on here because he knows all about child. He's a divorce attorney. He knows all about that child support. But if I can't get him, I will keep pushing. But child support is very big in the African American community, and we're gonna figure out what's going on with that. But again, and we didn't get to mental health.
No, you gotta say
it's my fault.
I think we did.
My fault.
No, we didn't. Well,
that was a funny shot. But we'll get to mental health as well. Simone Biles is my poster child for mental health. Her story is amazing. What she's been through, and what she's able to overcome, and she's really one of the main African American women out here. Really, saying, hey, I need to get help mentally. I need to get right, and I want more people in the African American community to be open about mental health. How y'all feel about mental health? Y'all good? Y'all mental good? All for it? Trash can. How your mentals?
You said the mental for me?
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't believe in that therapy crap, but yeah, we down to talk about it.
Make sure Trash Can is on the show.
I'm down to talk about it.
You about to make us run over.
I'm 50% with them because I've seen instances where therapists can be very advantageous, and I've seen other halves where therapy is very, very useful. So I understand where Trash Can is coming from, but yeah, we'll open up the mental health again. You guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Landra. She had an outage in her. She had an outage. She fell out or whatever. We argue all the time, guys. So don't take it offensively.
Definitely. Me and Darius argue all the time.
All the time. And we'll probably argue tomorrow about something. And that's totally fine. I'm just a friend, though. I don't know what's going on, bro. I'm just a friend. I don't know Erica from the floor up to the toe up, brother. But again, thank you. So where my camera at? Thank you so much for for joining us on the Heard 'Em Say podcast. Until next time, peace, love. Get your mentals right. Get your chickens right. Marshawn Lynch. We love you. Tune in next week. Show on domestic violence. You don't want to miss it. You guys have a good one and have a wonderful night.
Good night.